Hey guys, this is Infinity No What Ifs. I hope you are doing well. Please support to subscribe this channel to watching new interesting stories and to get all videos in real time. Please subscribe. So in this video, we will see what if Naruto became a SSS class ghoul after his mother's death. Here is short summary. He was once just like any other kid before the day his father killed his own mother since she was a ghoul. He abandoned his own home in fear the same thing would happen to him. Years later he is now considered an SSS class ghoul. But before we start, if you want more stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if possible share this video with your friends. Now let's start the story. Where are you? A ghoul yelled as he's running through a dark alley fast as he's holding an unconscious little girl the man abducted. As he's running he could hear a flapping sound and looks up as he yelled loudly, which blood splatters everywhere. Pathetic. The one who said that was a figure wearing a blood-red mask with a spiral pattern focused around his right eye, which shows his right eye is a Kakugan. He's currently wearing a long, midnight black cloak with blood-red clouds, a blood-red interior, and a chin-high collar. He's currently holding the sleeping girl as he could hear footsteps and sirens. On the ground is a dead ghoul that's head is detached from his body, which Naruto places the child onto the ground as from his back bursts his Ukaku angel-like wings, as in one flap he takes off flying as the ghoul investigators arrive to the scene, but they idolate. Radio in. The one-eyed angel has struck again, one of them said as the other nods. Next day in the 20th ward at Anteku, a teenager is currently placing cups of coffee on a table as he's wearing a waiter's outfit. His is spiky blood red with white highlights and has ocean blue eyes. The waiter looks at the news report on TV talking about last night incidents involving different ghouls. Sigh was the only the teenager did as he continued his work while goes to deliver Ken and Hyde's drinks. Hey guys, so it's the usual, he said to them, which Ken smiles as Hyde smirks thinking of something. So Naruto, is it true you two, motions towards Tuka, are going out? Hyde asked as Naruto just gives him a blank stare. Quote. Dude, seriously? Naruto said, causing Hyde to give a laugh as he begins sweating at the awkwardness. So Ken, who is she? The cute girl you mentioned? Hyde said, causing Naruto to raise an eyebrow as he looks at him with a smile, which Ken begins sweating as he blushes. Hey Tuka, come over here, Naruto said, gaining her attention as she walks towards them. What? She asked Naruto, who looks at Hyde, who gives a smile as he looks at Ken, causing him to not like where this is going. Miss Tuka, are you seeing anyone? Hyde asked immediately as Naruto freezes and Toka's eyes widen, hearing that as she immediately kicks Naruto in the shin, gaining a yell of pain as she stops back while Yoshimura gives a laugh at this. Seriously Hyde, now she thinks I asked her out. How many times do I have to tell you I don't have those feelings for her? Naruto said to him, but not loudly, which he just gives a laugh as he scratches the back of his head, but they heard the door open, causing Naruto's eyes to narrow as he sniffs the air while Ken blinks in surprise, gaining his attention, which his eyes widen along with Hyde's. She's the one, Ken says, gaining a from Naruto's thoughts as she just walks by them. Ken, just don't ask her out. I heard she's a bitch all of the time. Only acts like that just to catch a Monsai into going into a date, then she goes full on bitch trying to get your money, Naruto told him as he goes to walk back but bumps into Tuka, causing the cups of coffee she has on her tray to fall on her, dumping it all over her as she drops the cups of coffee as everyone heard breaking glass a turns. Nice one Nar. Hyde was cut off by Naruto. Shut it Hyde. Naruto yelled as he looks back at him. When he looks back at Tuka he can see she's glaring at him. Oh shit, well slap. Naruto was cut off as Tuka straight up bitch slapped him in the face, knocking him onto the ground as the others flinch, but some of the citizens smile seeing this, since this happens a lot when Naruto doesn't see where he's going and bumps into Tuka, which she spills and drops the coffee along with losing money from his paycheck. Ouch, Hyde said as Ken nods agreeing while Naruto sits up rubbing how cheek. Again Tuka, seriously. It's almost like you're trying to get me to notice you more, almost like you were in Loao. Naruto yelled the last part as he's binding his head while Toka's left fist is shaking in anger. Next day in the morning. It still hurts ya no, was all Naruto said as he's currently in Toka's bed with his shirt off, looking at Tuka getting dressed as she makes a humph sound as she gives him a glare. Don't you dare tell anyone I'm your girlfriend, not after that wild fiasco with my brother all those years ago, Chuka said, which Naruto scratches his head with his left hand. Yeah, it wouldn't be good seeing your brother appear here trying to attack me from hearing that I slept with you more than a couple of times, Naruto told her as she looks away thinking about her younger brother while Naruto gets out of bed as he begins dressing. Kaneki, Naruto thought to himself, worried for his friend as he looked at his reflection as he got dressed, but stops as he looked at a picture showing him and his family. Dad, one of these days, I will avenge Mom's death by killing you, Naruto thought with anger as his tight eye turns into his Kakugan. Night time. Naruto is currently wearing his waiter clothes as he's staring at the moon, silently watching it on top of a tall building while having a phone in his right hand as he's talking to someone. So Ken had surgery after the incident, Naruto said into the phone. Yeah, I don't know what really happened, but the one he was on a date with died from being killed by the falling steel frames. I heard they had no choice but to use her organs and to insert them into Kaneki. When Naruto heard that, his eyes widen all the way but that narrow again. Oh, well, bye. I hope he'll be okay by tomorrow, Naruto said as he ended the call as he grits his teeth. No doubt the Aogiri tree was behind this, but why? Must be an experiment of some sort, Naruto asked himself as he places his left hand on his head as images of blood spattering everywhere as his mother Kushina hit the floor dead appears in his mind. This world is just hell, Naruto said to himself as he sniffs the air and his right eye changes to his Kakugan while from his back sprouts wings. They're completely white as he stood up. Naruto heard movement from behind him, which his wings harden like crystals now appears to be white crystal-like wings, while he heard a Fork's laugh. What? Naruto asked as he looks back, seeing a girl covered in bandages with her eye hopes black M and wearing a purple kind of cloak with the sleeves ripped off as she currently leaning against the brick wall. Naruto just sighs as he looks away from her. Leave now. I don't care what your reasons are for being here, so leave or else, Naruto said as she doesn't respond, which before Naruto could say anything he heard ringing from his cell phone, which he answers it. What? Naruto was cut off by Kaneki's voice. Naruto. Please help me, I don't know what's happening to me. My left eye is like a ghoul's. What's happening to me? The call ends as Naruto's eyes widen all the way as he suddenly takes off, causing a gust of wind as he flies fast, while the girl just watches Naruto as she gives a laugh. I like him, was all she said as she begins walking towards the edge of the building, seeing a figure hidden by a large light purple cloak. So, the rumors were true about a one-eyed angel, but first we must know the full extent of his power, was all he said as the girl gives a nod agreeing with him. Where Kaneki is. Kaneki is slammed into the wall by Nishiki, who has him by the neck with a very annoyed look on his face while both of his eyes are the Kakugan. You know what you get for looting someone else's territory, right? Nishiki asked Kaneki, who's struggling to breath. I wasn't. I didn't know. I just happened to be passing by, Kaneki said as he struggled to speak. Okay, imagine this. Your girlfriend is naked and lying on the ground. Then someone else there with his pants down says to you, I wasn't flung anything. I just happened to be here. That's the same as what you're telling me. If it were me, I'd kill the guy. That's why I'm killing you, as punishment for trespassing on my feeding grounds. Nishiki was stopped by hearing someone's voice. Whose feeding grounds? Did you day? Someone said, which Nishiki blinks in surprise as Tuka jumps down as she stood straight up. Since when were these your feeding grounds, Nishiki? Tuka asked Nishiki, who's currently looking at her with no emotion but has narrowed eyes. Tuka, was all Nishiki said as he drops Kaneki on the ground, causing him to take a deep breath as he held his throat and coughs a lot while Nishiki has begun speaking. I know she's dead, right? The binge-eating woman, Nishiki told her as Tuka starts to talk. And that makes these your feeding grounds. Even you know the task of distributing the feeding grounds Rise stole to the weaker ghouls, and otherwise managing the 20th ward. Belongs to those of us at Anteku, Tuka said as she activates her Kakugan. Huh, a bunch of fence-sitters like Anteku have no right to go picking over every little thing, especially Naruto. He acts like he's the boss of me. I don't give a shit, Nishiki said with anger as he begins walking towards Tuka. This was my feeding ground in the first place, before Rise. Nishiki stops as he heard flapping causing his eyes to widen as Toka's Kakugan deactivates. Came. Nishiki, if you want to die then come to me first instead of attacking my best friend who I call brother, Naruto said as Nishiki turns to him, seeing Naruto staring at Nishiki with annoyance with his right eye Kakugan activated along with his crystal-like wings out, causing Nishiki to start running knowing he'll be killed, which Naruto just sighs as he turned to a completely shocked Kaneki who's staring at Naruto in shock seeing him. "And Naruto," Kaneki said, which Naruto just looks away as his Kakugan deactivates, showing his ocean blue eye as his wings turn to liquid as they recede into his back while Naruto goes to one knee having a sad smile on his face. "Guess it's time that I have to tell you, I'm a hybrid ghoul. Mom was a ghoul and dad was human. I am one of the rare ones, but you're an artificial ghoul it seems. The organs they placed in you were rise," Naruto said to Kaneki, who looks down shocked at what he heard, allying with Tuka, which both have wide eyes. Naruto looks at Kaneki's left eye while he stood back up, which Tuka bends down and picks up a hand. "Tuka, stay out of this," Naruto said to her, which she blinks in surprise hearing the seriousness in his tone as he extends his hand to her, which she gives it to him as he turns to Kaneki and extends the hand to him. "Eat it, you'll feel better," Naruto told Kaneki, which immediately his right arm extends towards the hand, but he grabs his right hand with his left as he pulls his back and bends forward as droll cones from his mouth. "He's not eating," Tuka said as Naruto gives a nod knowing why as Kaneki looks up as they see he's crying from both eyes while taking deep breaths. "Tokyo Ghoul Op, I'll say this to you Kaneki, you will die. You're hurt and you need to eat, so eat," Naruto yelled at Kaneki, urging him to eat as he moves forward extending it to Kaneki, which his hand reaches for it again but he pulls it away as he grits his teeth. "Please help me, I know what you said but I can't believe it. I'm human and yet, I want to eat that. I want to eat it so bad I can't help it. But if I do, I won't be human anymore," Kaneki said, which Naruto's eyes widen hearing his words but they narrow. "You idiot, you're wrong on that part, now eat," Naruto said a little louder to Kaneki, wanting him to eat but which he gives a small smile as his right hand extends towards it but stood as his eyes widen in fear as well as horror as he soon closed his eyes crying while his right hand shakes, which all he does next was knock it out of Naruto's hand with his right hand after pulling it back, which Naruto just closed his eyes as Tuka stares at the hand in the ground. "No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. There's no way I can eat something like that, right? What is this? What is it to be a ghoul? Killing people, killing each other. I'm not like that. I'm human," Kaneki screams, which Naruto grabs his by his coat and pulls him up facing him as his Kakugan activates while his face shows anger. "Will you shut up already Kaneki?" Naruto yelled as he knees him in the stomach, causing his eyes to widen. "We do what we do to survive, that is a ghoul. As soon as you realize this world is hell, the sooner you realize that you have to stop acting like a kid to be a man. A ghoul is not a monster, what you do makes you a monster. Just killing for fun and sport, that's a monster, but to survive, protect, or revenge, that's not a monster," Naruto yelled at Kaneki as he drops him on the ground as he walks to the dead body and bends down, ripping flesh of the body and meat. "Tuka, hold him," Naruto said, which she activates her Kakugan and moves fast as she goes behind Kaneki as she holds him in a headlock while Naruto's right eye turns into the Kakugan. "I'm sorry, but I don't want to lose you Kaneki," Naruto said as he dashes straight for him as Kaneki's eyes widen just as Naruto forces it into his mouth, which he swallows it, causing his eyes to widen all the way, feeling it go down his throat, which Tuka and Naruto let go as Kaneki runs a little begun he falls to his nose vomiting out blood. "Why would you do that to me? There's no way I can eat human flesh," Kaneki said, not understanding while both of their eyes return to normal, which Naruto begins walking away. "I'm going back to Anteku," Naruto told her as his Kakugan reactivates, which from his back bursts a pair of wings, which immediately he takes off back towards Anteku, not wasting any more time knowing something big is going to happen, which everything will change. Later that day at night at Kaneki's apartment, Kaneki is currently sitting in his bed as his stomach is rumbling of hunger, causing him to grab his hair as he pulls it while some drool cones out of his mouth. Flesh, 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 flesh. Kaneki was cut off by a knock at the door. "Kaneki, you awake?" was the voice of Naruto, causing his eyes to widen as it opens, which Naruto enters the house as he looks around, and from the next room Kaneki appears with wide eyes. Naruto, Kaneki said, which he gives him a smile. 3 minutes later, Naruto is currently sitting in Kaneki's chair as he's talking to Kaneki as he's sitting on his bed. I know it's a sudden change with you being a ghoul, but be thankful you don't have family left, or it would be a major shock to them, Naruto said to Kaneki, who looks down then looks at Naruto, who has a most look in his eyes. Naruto, why did your father kill your mom? You never told me why, Kaneki asked, causing his eyes to widen a little as he looks back down. My mom was a ghoul like everyone else, but she was so kind-hearted and nice. It's hard to believe she was a ghoul. My sister looked up to my father while I looked up to mom. Through sis didn't inherit any of mom's ghoul abilities. Not everyone is born with the gifts of both parents. We were a happy family until that day everything changed, Naruto said, which Kaneki looks down to the ground. My father was a ghoul investigator, Naruto said, causing Kaneki to look at him in shock, hearing that as his left hand creates a fist. I watched as he killed her. I tried to kill dad but beaten easily, and I ran from home after that. That's when I met you guys, Naruto said, which Kaneki blinks in surprise. Flashback. A kid Kaneki is currently on a hill as it's sunset, while behind him was a kid Hyde. Hey, you're always reading books by yourself at school, huh? Hyde asks Kaneki, who looks back at him as he stops reading his book. Is that wrong? Kaneki asked him as he walks and sits next to him. I don't mean that, I just moved here, so I don't have any friends. So would you be my friend? Hyde asked as the kid nods. Sure, Kaneki said, but both heard footsteps and turning, seeing a kid Naruto looking exhausted as he's a little wobbly and has dried blood coming from his shoulder, while stray tears come from under his eyes. Hey, you okay? Hyde asked, causing Naruto to turn towards them as Hyde and Kaneki walk up to Naruto, who blinks tiredly. I'm Nagachika Hideyoshi, but you can call me Hyde, Hyde says, extending his hand towards Naruto, who looks at it with wide eyes. I'm Kaneki, Kaneki said as Naruto was shocked and becomes nervous. I'm Naruto, Naruto said, which Hyde just smiles widely while Kaneki gives a small smile. Flashback end. After that, Tuka found me passed out in a dark alley with her father. They took me in without telling anyone, and soon enough the manager of Anteku, Yoshimura, took me in and kept me hidden while training me to control my power. I can't forget the first day I met Tuka. She was so innocent and cute back then, Naruto said as he stood up. I'm going home so night, also eat before going to bed, Naruto told him as he walks towards the door and grabs the doorknob. Don't you dare die from hunger, or I'll never forgive you, Naruto told him as he leaves. At Anteku, Tuka is currently sleeping in her pajamas as she heard the doorknob unlock as it opens up and closes, which Tuka sits up rubbing her eyes. What now, Nar? Tuka was stopped by Naruto kissing her on the lips as they soon are making out and separate as Naruto takes off his clothes until he's in his boxers as he lays next to Tuka, who looks at him as they're lying in bed together while Naruto gets under the blankets. I talked to Kaneki. He needs to realize it sooner or later or else he will die, Naruto told her as she sighs. Why are you so protective of him? Tuka asked him, which he lays on his back as Tuka moves next to him as she lays her as he wraps his left arm around her, which he smiles. Because I was just like him, innocent. But, whatever he does in the future, I'm with him 100% no matter what he decides to do, Naruto told her, which she blinks in surprise. Never mind that, let's go to the amusement park tomorrow, just you and me, Naruto told her, which she smiles as she just snuggles into Naruto more, causing him to smile as he holds her closely, which the two begin sleeping. Dream flashback. Mom, when will Dad come home? A kid Naruto asked as he's sitting in his mother's lap as she's reading him a book. Not for a while, Naruto. Your father is very busy with work, Kushina said as Naruto looks down sadly, but Kushina smiles down at him. Your dad loves you, but where he works, he's needed there, Kushina said, which Naruto smiles hearing that, but both heard a window shatter, causing both to turn fast hearing that as Kushina turns and sniffs the air, which her eyes widen all the way as she looks back at a confused Naruto and bends down to him. Tokyo Ghoul Ost Utaka Yamada. Naruto, whatever happens just keep running, Kushina said, confusing Naruto as they heard footsteps and Naruto looks past Kushina and smiles. Dad. Naruto stops immediately as he noticed the look in his eyes. Dad, what's wrong? Naruto asked, confused as his father looks at Kushina. I'll give him 24 hours, he better start running, he said, which Kushina nods as she looks back at Naruto. Kushina places both hands on Naruto's face cheeks as he blinks in surprise. I'm no longer will he with you, Naruto. Run, Kushina said as she stood up and turns away from Naruto, who has tears falling from his eyes, not liking this. But Mom, Naruto was cut off by Kushina. I said run. Kushina yelled, scaring him as he goes to rub, which he runs out the doorway, and as soon as he does, Kushina smiles as she activates her Kakugan while white angel wings burst from her back. So you finally know, Kureo, Kushina said as he wings become solidified. I'm sorry, Kushina, but I can't allow you to live, Kureo told her while he takes out his quink. While this happened, Naruto was hiding inside the shed when he heard a scream 3 minutes later, causing Naruto's eyes to widen as he runs out of the shed for the house. Mom! Naruto yelled as he runs towards the doorway and opens it, which he freezes, finding Kushina laying in the ground in a pool of blood while Kureo was standing over her body, while behind his father was Naruto's sister Akira, who also had wide eyes as she's crying, causing Naruto to fall to his knees as Kureo looks away as he picks up Akira. You have 24 hours, after that I'm coming for you, so run, just run as fast, Kureo said as Naruto's eye widen as his right eye changes, causing Kureo and Akira's eyes to widen as Naruto glares Kureo as he charges straight at him. You monster! Naruto screamed before he was knocked back by Kureo used his quink, causing Naruto to yell as his right shoulder was bleeding, causing Naruto to look at Kureo scared. I'm scared. I am scared. Naruto screamed as he runs out of the house as fast as he could while crying. Please, I don't want to die. Naruto screamed, crying as he ran. Naruto. Dream, flash back end. Naruto immediately wakes up to find Tuka on top of him, which he notices that his wings are out as the room is damaged, which Naruto's eyes widen as his right eye is a Kakugan as he's crying, which he sits up as he notices Tuka is bleeding, which his eyes widen more as Tuka is looking at him, which tears begin falling from his eyes more as Tuka hugs him as he's crying, while his wings then enclose around Tuka as he's hugging her. Dad. The next time I fight you, I'll make you pay, Naruto thought as he's crying while Tuka just hugs Naruto, letting him cry. He's still affected by the past, even now. I hate seeing him like this, Tuka thought to herself as she just holds him, while outside is Yoshimura, who sighs sadly. He's still being held back by his past, Yoshimura thought to himself as he starts thinking about his daughter Sen. Amusement park. We'll be back later today, sir, Naruto said into the phone as B ends the call and looks at Tuka, seeing her looking around as she's wearing her green jacket while he's wearing a black jacket and holding a map of the park. Well, we'll be going on the Ferris wheel last, so which ride do you want to? Tuka stops as her eyes twitch, seeing him walking away from her towards the roller coaster, which immediately she kicks him in the back, knocking him to the ground. What did I do? Naruto yelled as he stood up, which Tuka growls at him as they're face to face. You just ignored me and was about to just ditch me, Tuka yelled, but stops seeing they're being watched, causing a small blush to appear on her cheeks, which Naruto sighs as he takes her hand, causing her to blink in surprise. Fine, then I'll just hold your hand. Now we won't get separated, Naruto told her, and before she could say anything he begins walking, pulling her along with him, which the people around know the two from Anteku and smile seeing this, which Tuka looks around with a blush, feeling uncomfortable, but she bumps into Naruto's back as she blinks in surprise as she looks at what he's looking at and sweats, seeing a ride which is a ball connected to 2 bungee cords. The sky shot. Let's do that ladder, so let's do the Smiler roller coaster, Naruto said to her as he turns back to Tuka, which he just sweatshops, seeing her trying to get out of his grip, causing him to smirk seeing this. Is someone scared? Naruto asked her, which she stops and glares at Naruto as she's having a blush. I'm not scared, it's just that, Tuka was cut off by Naruto, who just smiles at her. Then come on, I know you'll love it, Naruto said as he pulls her along, which she tried pulling but as was unless, the whole time this happened they were being watched. 1 minute later, both are sitting next to each other with other people as they're about to begin, while the whole time Tuka is feeling uncomfortable since she hasn't went on a roller coaster before. Naruto sees the man counting off from 10 as he's doing so. Naruto could see the nervousness in Toka's face which he holds her hand, gaining her attention. Don't be scared, it's just a ride. I'm right here, so no need to be scared, Naruto told her with a smirk, which she glares at him with a blush and stops as the ride begins, causing her to hold his hand tightly as they first move down while do a twist, but they stop and then start climbing up, which Tuka grips his hand more while Naruto just chuckles, causing her to glare at him as they made it to the top, and soon they move down, causing Tuka to scream as the ride begins, not liking this even one bit. As they're doing twists and turns, Tuka looks at Naruto and notices him laughing with a wide smile, which she stares at him having fun, causing her to smile remembering what happened at night. Tuka begins to enjoy the wild roller coaster and soon it ends as both are walking off side by side. Told you that you would love it, Naruto said as she just looks away with a small blush on her face as she just looks away. I'll go see if they sell coffee, Tuka said as Naruto smiles seeing her walking towards one of the food joints. Ow! Someone yelled, gaining Naruto's attention as he turns, which a young girl in her 20s with light brown hair along with a sleepy and clumsy expression on her face stumbles into Naruto, causing to place both hands on her arms, stopping her, which he notices that she's wearing just pants and a t-shirt with a black coat over it, which Naruto just stares at her. You okay? Naruto asked her as she just gives him a smile. Oh yeah, thanks a bunch, she told her, smiling at Naruto, which his eyes narrow, feeling like they've met, which the girl moves away from Naruto as she soon runs off. Hem. Someone said, which Naruto turns around fast out a very angry Tuka talking her foot. 5 minutes later, both are sitting in benches. Tuka is sitting next to him as she's not facing him but has an annoyed expression on her face, while Naruto also had an annoyed expression. As I explained for the 12th time in a row, she stumbled into me and he grabbed her arms, stopping her from falling on me. I wasn't making a move on that girl, Naruto told her as she just looks away annoyed. Seriously, Tuka, just let it go. Naruto stops as they heard a scream and turn towards a building with people entering and exiting the house, causing Naruto to smile as he takes Toka's hand. Let's put this aside and talk later, okay? Naruto said, which she sighs and gives a nod as the two head for the haunted house. 3 minutes later, the two are currently inside the haunted house as they're the only ones in the room. The walls are black while the windows only let in blood red light, adding to the creepy theme, while they could hear screams somewhere inside the house, which Tuka gives Naruto a glare as they're inside, but Toka's eyes widen seeing Naruto sporting serious look on his face. Show yourself. I know you've been watching us, Naruto said, causing Toka's eyes to sudden as they heard footsteps and turn fast, seeing someone walking towards them from the shadows as the newcomer stands in the blood red light from the window, which Toka's eyes widen all the way while Naruto's narrow as both see Ayato, who stands in front of them with narrowed eyes, which Tuka steps forward in front of Naruto. Ayato, Tuka said to Ayato, who starts at her, which he sighed a small smile. Long time no see, stupid sister, Ayato told her as Tuka continues. Where have you been wandering around, you idiot? Tuka asked as Ayato puts both hands in the air. I've been out learning about society. Unlike you, who's complacent in your peace, Ayato told her as he still smiles, angering Tuka. You arrogant little brat, Tuka said to him as Ayato gives a small laugh at what she said. You're the brat here. Face reality, you dummy, Ayato told her, but both stop as Naruto stands in front of her. Tuka, leave the room now, Naruto told her, which her eyes suddenly widen. Naruto, I'm not leaving. Tuka stops as Naruto looks at her completely serious as his right eye turns into his Kakugan, causing to stop as she grits her teeth, knowing this is no time to complain as she walks out of the room, which Ayato's Kakugan activates. It's been a while, Ayato. Is this about me dating your sister? After all, you did never like me in the first place, Naruto said, which he grits his teeth, which Naruto shows a smile. Is this a bad time today? I slept with her a lot, Naruto said, angering him more as his wings burst out of his back. You bastard, Ayato yelled as he fired his crystallized projectiles from his wings at Naruto. You were always easy to anger, which leads to your downfall, Naruto said as from his back bursts his wings, which crystallized, blocking his attack, which Ayato's eyes widen. I'm not the same kid I once was, Ayato. I'm far stronger than you realize. Naruto told him, which he grits his teeth as Naruto dashes for him while Ayato fires his projectiles at Naruto, but he uses his wings as a shield blocking the crystals. As he gets close enough, his wings move away as he tackles Ayato, which the two move across the ground as Ayato kicks Naruto off, and as soon as they got back up they do a spin kick, which Naruto does the same thing as they're equally strong, which both grit their teeth. "You've gotten stronger, Ayato," Naruto told him as he swings his right fist while Ayato swings his right as their fists head for each other's faces, but they caught the other's fist as they're in a standoff with the wings battling each other. "Ayato, you can't beat me," Naruto told him, causing Ayato to grit his teeth. "Shut the hell up, I'll kill you." Ayato was cut off as Naruto head but him in the face, and he soon receives a right uppercut, causing him to stumble back as Naruto grabs his face with his right hand as he rams his head against the wall, causing cracks, but he pushes Naruto back, which he jumps and skids back as Ayato is glaring at Naruto. "Take me seriously, show me your Kakuja," Ayato yelled, causing Naruto's eyes to widen all the way in shock, which his eyes narrow all the way. "The reports don't lie, you killed and devoured members of Aogiri Tree. I want you to take me seriously, so do it," he yelled at Naruto, who said nothing as he's looking at the ground. "I can't," Naruto said to him, which he blinks in surprise and then becomes angry. "What do you mean you can't? You never thought of me as a threat, this is why I hate you." Ayato was cut off by Naruto. "You're wrong, one reason. I don't want to kill you or Tuka would hate me, 2, I'm saving it to show the man I hate most in this works, and 3. If I use it I no longer look like an angel but the harbinger of death and despair," Naruto told him, which Ayato grits his teeth at his words, but both stop as highly hear an alarm, causing the two to stop as both turn, seeing a bulky man with red hair tied up in a ponytail wearing a blood-red cloak. He's wearing a white mask featuring a huge mouth and tiny slits for nostrils. His fingernails are black while holding an alarm clock. Ayato makes a tch sound as he walks towards Naruto and passes him as he deactivates his Kakugan with his wings receding, while Naruto does the same as he then notices the same girl he met that night standing behind Noro as she begins walking away. Naruto turns away as he continues walking, knowing the fight has come to an end. As Naruto turns a corner and walks into the next room, he sees Tuka leaning against the wall, which her eyes widen seeing Naruto as she runs to him and stops in front of him as he gives her a smile. "Everything's okay. Shall we continue?" Naruto stops as he got a text message, which he takes out his phone and his eyes widen, confusing her as she looks at the message, shocking her too. "Sorry Tuka, but I have to help Kaneki," Naruto said as he dashes off, which Tuka understands why while Naruto grits his teeth. "Kaneki, wait for me," Naruto thought as he's running full speed as he runs past a kid, which Naruto blinks in surprise seeing a guy with many stitch marks. His hair's bangs are clipped up with red hair pins in a Roman numeral 13 pattern, which he has large pupils and is dressed in an unkempt white multicolored button-dressed shirt with blue suspenders attached to a pair of black pants that reaches to his knees, as well as wearing red slippers, which Naruto simply continues running while the guy smiles to himself. So that was Naruto. Interesting, the kid thought as he continues walking through the haunted house while Naruto had different thoughts. Was that a guy or girl? Either way he or she's a goth, but must be a guy from how he's dressed, Naruto thought to himself as he continues running. 30 minutes later, where Kaneki is. "Hide," was the first thing Kaneki said after he ruthlessly beat Nishiki and stares at Hyde, but his vision changes along with Rise appearing as she pokes Hyde's face cheek. He sure looks tasty," Rise said as Kaneki's eyes widen as he swallows. "What a savory aroma, it's making me hungry. Here, you see, look closely, doesn't he look delicious?" Rise asks him, which she angers Kaneki. "Stop it, Hyde is not for eating," Kaneki said as Rise appears next to him. "Are you sure about that? Take a good look, see, you can tell, right?" Rise said, slowly manipulating Kaneki. I can tell," Kaneki said to her as he behind breathing hard and smiles widely with droll pouring from his mouth as more lines appear on his temple coming from his left Kakugan. "He does look good, hey. Kaneki stops as he grabs his with the lines receding back into the eye. Stop that," Kaneki yelled loudly as the voice of Rise continues. "What are you talking about?" Rise said as her arms wrap around him as the illusion of Rise continues talking. You want him so bad you can't stand it, right? You don't have to put up with it. You're not doing anything wrong. Rise told him, which Kaneki walks towards the conwobbly as he bumps into it and then bangs his head in it while Rise appears behind him. Come on, quickly. You can do as you like, Rise told him as she wraps her arms around him. As I like. Kaneki repeats what she said out loud. He's all yours, Rise told him, which he looks up as the lines on his temples appear coming from his Kakugan. All, Kaneki repeats as he bites his lips as more drool comes from his mouth while Rise disappears. Go on, Rise told him as he turns to hide and smiles crazily as he laughs. You're right, this is my special treat, isn't it? I have to eat him, Kaneki said as he moves towards Hyde and goes on his knees in front of Hyde as he raises his arms. Hyde is my friend. Yes, he is my friend, so I have to eat Hyde. Kaneki was stopped as he foot slams into his face, sending him rolling back. As he stood up, she growls as more drool comes from his mouth, seeing Naruto with his hands in his pockets. Kaneki, I'm sorry, Naruto said to Kaneki, who continues growling, which he charges straight at Naruto as he just stands still. He's see if you were right, Yomo, Naruto thought as he was pierced through his chest by one of Kaneki's tendrils as he smiles but stops in complete and utter horror as he looks at Naruto in the face as his left smite turns back to normal, seeing 2 trails of blood coming from his mouth. Naruto, what have I? Kaneki was cut off as Naruto grabs Kaneki's head and pushes him forward as he's now at him neck. Start eating, or you'll die from hunger, Naruto said, which his eyes widen all the way in complete shock. And no, I can't, Kaneki yelled but stops. Kaneki, live, Naruto whispered as Kaneki's left eye turns into the Kakugan, which he opens his kitty widely and chomps down on Naruto's neck as he grunts a little while Kaneki begins eating. Remember, there are times when you have to take a life and not take a life. This is no time to take a life, so from now on, I'll be your teacher, and when the time comes, we'll fight together as equals, being each other's second eye, Naruto said as he closes his eyes. Later that day at night, Naruto, you idiot, Tuka yelled as Naruto has bandages around his shoulder as he's smiling while laying in bed. Sorry Tuka, but he's my best friend. I have to do what needs to be done in order to protect him, Naruto told her as she sighs and lays in the bed next to a smiling Naruto. You idiot, Tuka said as Naruto just chuckles as he holds her closely to him while outside the building was Tatara, the girl, Ayato, and Noro. So that's it, he will not become serious unless he's fighting his father. Sigh, I wanted to know why he was ranked SSS class Ghoul. Ito, continue to watch Naruto and don't let him out of your sight. I don't want any doves trying to get in my way. I must know what exactly is his Kakuja that made him very dangerous and what he can exactly do. He could be the one we've been searching for, as well as keep an eye on the Kaneki kid. He may be of some use to us, Tatara said as girl now revealed as Ito nods. Out drunk again it seems, was the only thing Naruto said as he's currently inside his sister's apartment wearing his disguise as she's currently in a deep sleep after drinking alcohol. Naruto looks to see her cat as it's staring at him intently, which was very odd. Naruto just ignores the cat as he looks back at his older sister and smiles, seeing how peaceful she's sleeping. Naruto bends down to her face as he lifts his mask and kisses her on the forehead as he leans back and lifts his mask down. I better leave, sooner or later I'll be discovered as it won't be easy escaping, Naruto thought as he stands up and walks towards the door but stops as he heard footsteps and his eyes narrowed as immediately he dodges a whip as he moves to the side with his wings coming out, seeing a fully awake Akira who has narrowed eyes. It's been a while, sis, Naruto said as her eyes just narrow as Naruto takes off his mask, showing his face as she just grits her teeth. Why are you here? Akira asked as Naruto looks out the window. I just wanted to see you. You're the last bit of family I have left, Naruto told, which she immediately drops her quink as she rushes forward and grabs him by the cost as she slams him against the door hard as he just stares at him. What about? Akira was stopped by Naruto. Dad, he lost the right to be my father after he killed Mom. You're the only one in this whole world I will not kill, Naruto said as he grabs her arms and immediately switched positions as her arms are above her head, which she has wide eyes. This world is nothing but hell, CCG and Aogiri Tree make things worse with their constant fighting. Sooner or later the tide will change with the two organizations, which one will be wiped out or both will destroy each other. Either way, I hate this world, Naruto told her as he lets go and puts his mask on. This may be the last time we speak. I know you'll report that I was here to your dad. I ask you don't hate me when I kill him, Naruto says as he puts a hand on the door and stops as a thought rolled through his head and smiles as he turns to Akira one last time. You're always gonna be my older sister that I will always love, but please, put on some pants already since this isn't the first time I seen what's under your clothes when you get drunk, ya know, Naruto said, which Akira immediately looks down seeing that she's wearing her upper clothes but she's not wearing pants, showing her panties, causing her to blush and glare at Naruto. 3 seconds later, Naruto opens the door fast as he runs out, immediately dodging Akira's whip as he shoots some lampposts, shattering the lights as he extends his wings, flies into a dark alley as he disappears through the night, causing Akira to sigh as she can no longer see him. Idiot brother, always trying to get emotion out of me, Akira said to herself as she looks at a picture showing a kid Naruto smiling widely as he's holding a smiling Akira's hand while behind them was their father and mother. Naruto. She was a ghoul and we had no choice, just like we have no choice in having to kill you. You're too dangerous, Akira said as she walks towards her bed and lays on her bed as she closed her eyes with one line replaying in her mind of what a kid Naruto once said. Big sister, I want to be a ghoul investigator when I grow up. Dad even said if I beat him in a fight one day he'll give me my very own quink. Stupid brother, Akira thought as she goes to bed. Next day. Yawn was the first thing Naruto did as he woke up in his room tired after sneaking around all last night not wanting to be caught, which he soon gets dressed while he noticed that it's about to rain while he puts his waiter clothes on and touched his head from thinking something he once said. Big sister, I want to be a ghoul investigator when I grow up. Dad even said if I beat him in a fight one day he'll give me my very own quink. TCH, I was so stupid back then. Kaneki, if you were to die then, I would find the one who did it and rip that person apart, but Naruto stops as he thought of Akira, causing him to grab his head as his fingers grab onto his head as he pulls orbs little while gritting his teeth. Don't worry, you will protect him. Just rely on me when you get serious, a voice said as Naruto grits his teeth and holds his head while his right eye's Kakugan activates as his hand grips his face as lines come from his eye onto his face's temples like Kaneki. Shut the hell up. As we agreed we kill him together. You've been nothing but trouble every time I go all out, Naruto thought to himself as behind him an illusion of a demonic figure wearing the Akatsuki cloak, but he's not wearing the usual mask, instead was a mask that covered his entire head as it has two forward pointing horns, but the left eye was covered while the right was left open. The mask was completely midnight black. Either war, I can't wait to be let out. Through I promise that you won't be yourself. If we are both in control you will still be ruthless. When the angel loses his way he falls down to hell and consumed by anger and grief, becoming hell's angel and messenger of death and despair. You have to admit, I saved you when I killed all those ghoul investigators, and I've always told you, the angrier you get the deeper you fall until you turn into that monster you greatly fear in the depths of your heart that no one knows about except those first-class ghoul investigators, all because you didn't want them to hunt down your friends. The way you killed them in that state was truly amazing, he said as he disappears, which Naruto sighs. Either way, I'll never lose control again, Naruto said with seriousness as he walks towards the door and opens it and he exits his room. Soon enough he's at the door to Anteku, which he opens it to find Hinami staying close to her mother Ryuko, which both turn, causing Hinami's eyes to widen as she runs to Naruto and hugs him, causing him to blink in surprise as he looks up at Ryuko, Tuka, and Kaneki. What happened to Asaki? Was the first thing Naruto asked them. Naruto is currently standing next to Kaneki as there was a plate of 4 sandwiches ready to be eaten. Now try one. Naruto asked Kaneki, who picks a sandwich up as he moves it towards his mouth as he opens his mouth but stops from having an afterthought, but even so he closed his eyes while opening his mouth more and takes a bite out of the sandwich but makes a face not liking it as he immediately covered his mouth and runs to the trash can as he pukes. Naruto, I'm sorry, but this is, Kaneki said as he stands up fully while wiping the drool off his mouth. Don't worry, it happened to me as well, Naruto told Kaneki, which he explains what he tasted as he looks at the sandwich. The bread is like eating a bland sponge, while the cheese is like curd-smelling clay, Kaneki said, which all Naruto does was give a laugh remembering what he said when Yoshimaru taught him. Naruto walks towards the sandwiches and stops in front of them. When I did it, lead bread tasted like dried up puke and the cheese was moldy, Naruto told him as he picked one of the sandwiches up as he takes a bite out of it, surprising Kaneki as he looked like he was chewing. Yoshimaru, he said, the trick was not to eat it but swallow it whole. You have to pretend to chew it about 10 times. So if you make chewing sounds while you do it, it will look like you're actually eating it when you're not. But just don't make it too obvious. I failed the first time I tried making chewing sounds. But anyways, make sure you throw up the food before you start to digest it, otherwise you'll have one bad stomach ache, Naruto told as he places the sandwich in the trash and gives Kaneki a smile, seeing the look in his eyes. Kaneki, once you've practiced enough then you can eat with hide again, Naruto told him with a smile, which Kaneki gives a small smile. I'll do my best, Kaneki told Naruto, who just smiles as blinks in surprise remembering something as he walks to the cabinet and takes out a jar with brown cubes inside it as he hands it to Kaneki, who looks at it surprised. Sugar cubes, Kaneki said, confused seeing it as he takes one out. They're a little different on the inside, place them in coffee and drink it, which it will control your hunger to a certain degree, Naruto said, causing him to smile but stops as he looks at it. What exactly do they contain? Kaneki asked Naruto, who sighs. It's better that you don't know, but is it okay that you can stay late tonight? Naruto asked, surprising him as all he said was, yes. Good. Toka's studying for a test while I have plans. I need you to go with a friend of mine to help him with food shopping, Naruto said, which Kaneki's eyes widen all the way remembering the brutal stuff he's seen. Food shopping. I can't kill anyone, Kaneki said the last sentence loudly but jolts as Naruto places his right hand on his left shoulder. It's okay, no one will get harmed. And Teiku provides food for other ghouls who cannot hunt people. That's why you must go, Naruto told him, but Kaneki still doesn't understand. But why can't? Kaneki stops as Naruto lets go of his shoulder and passes him, causing Kaneki to look and his eyes widen seeing him taking out another jar in the cabinet and immediately starts pouring the cubes in his mouth as he's swallowing it, shocking Kaneki at seeing this, which he turns to him. Sorry, but today isn't a good day for me to be outside where people are, Naruto told Kaneki, who blinks in surprise as Naruto leaves the room, which he just stares after Naruto as he places the empty jar in the sink as he walks out of the kitchen. Later that day, when it's dark out, Yomo is currently driving the car through the busy streets as Kaneki is sitting next to him paying attention to the roads. Mr. Yomo. What exactly is meant by food shopping? Kaneki asked, but he doesn't reply, which Kaneki looks down. You're Naruto, a best friend, am I right? Yomo asked, surprising Kaneki at the sudden question. Why yes, Kaneki answered as Yomo glances at him. Tokyo Ghoul asked Yutaka Yamada. If what you say is true, then you need to get stronger. The way you are now will only burden Naruto at having to protect you all the time, Yomo said, causing Kaneki's eyes widen down at his words while Yomo looks back at the road. You see, Naruto cares about his friends a lot. You, Tuka, Hyde, Yoshimura, me, and Yuta. He cares for us far more than you even know, Yomo told Kaneki as he makes a turn, which they're leaving the city as down a road. What do you mean? Kaneki asked as Yomo looks at him. I'll tell you this, he's the strongest ghoul I know. I say this because in order to protect us when I and Yuta were injured. He became something else, with his only goal was to protect us. He killed tons of rank 1 ghoul investigators with unreal speed and power. But in exchange for that much power he loses his humanity, reverting to a monster that only destroys, devours, and kills, which because of how many he's killed, he's been given the rank of an SSS class ghoul. Friends, family, and loved ones are the only thing that chains down the monster in him from escaping. He cares for you like you are a little brother to him and is willing to give up his own life if it means protecting you. I'm telling you this since I want to know your views of Naruto and to see why he protects you, Yomo said as he stops and looks at Kaneki, who looks down. He's like an older brother to me, always watching out and being there for me more than Hyde. When I'm always down he would cheer me up, making bad moments good. Even if it was awkward he would still make it good. I'd what you say is true, then I want to become strong so I can be his other eye which he can be mine, Kaneki said, causing Yomo's eyes to widen a little hearing the last line. Naruto is currently laying in his bed staring at the ceiling as he closed his eyes. I don't get it. Why hasn't Dad told the CCG about me? He should have done it years ago, but if he did, why aren't they here? Naruto thought to himself as he sat up in his bed and looks at his family picture as he looks down sadly. This world will burn to the ground until both sides want the fighting to stop and to work together to stop the world before it's consumed by the flames of hatred that they've started, Naruto thought to himself as he sat up in his bed and sighs as he hit out of bed and goes to get dressed. As soon as he finished he heads straight for the kitchen, which he opens the door a little but freezes. There are 2 inspectors in the 20th ward, Yoshimaru said as Naruto freezes and his eyes widen all the way. Doves, Tuka said as Kaneki was confused at the term, doves. They are already doing damage. I'd like him to have one right away, just in case, Yoshimaru said to her as she gives a nod. All right, Tuka said, agreeing, and looks at Kaneki. Hey, eye patch, tomorrow, in front of the train station, 2:30. If you're late, I'll kill you, Tuka says, dangerously scaring Kaneki. All right, Kaneki said to her. And Tuka, not a word about this to Naruto. I've heard one of the inspectors has white hair, which it could be him, Yoshimaru says, causing Toka's eyes to widen, but not at his words, which immediately they heard the door shut as Yoshimaru turns immediately with his eyes a little wide, not even noticing the door was opened. Naruto, Tuka said as she runs straight by the door and opens it, seeing him walk up the stairs. Naruto, are you? Tuka stops as her eyes widen, seeing him devour a lot of the sugar cubes in the jar he has in his right hand as it's now empty, which he looks at Tuka as his right eye is the Kakugan. I don't need to hear it, Tuka. I won't jeopardize Anetaku and everyone in it with my revenge. I'll kill him when the time calls for it. Besides, I need to think over things before I meet him. I want to ask him something, Naruto told her as his right eye turns back to normal as he walks up the stairs, not saying anything else as Tuka looks at him sadly while he makes it up the stairs as he grits his teeth and places his left hand on his head as his mother corpse replays in his mind, causing Naruto to grit his teeth. I can feel it, we'll meet soon, Naruto thought as he walks up the steps. Later that day, Naruto was currently in the living room sleeping as he heard sounds and opens his eyes slowly to find Hinami eating, which she blinks in surprise seeing Naruto's awake, which his right eye turns into his Kakugan, but he grabs his face concealing his eye, which Hinami blinks seeing this and runs to his side as she goes on her knees, which Naruto looks at her. Are you okay, Naruto? You don't look well, Hinami said as Naruto just gives her a smile as he ruffles her hair, which she blinks in surprise and smiles, but the two heard someone gaining their attention as they look at the door seeing it open, which Kaneki stops seeing the food in the table along with Hinami who has her Kakugan activated and Naruto who's staring at him. Kaneki, why don't you talk to Hinami for a while since I'm going to sleep now? Don't worry, I'm okay, just a little hungry is all, Naruto told her, which she blinks in surprise and looks at the plate, but Naruto sighs gaining her attention. That's your food, not mine, so eat it, Naruto told her while he stood up and walks towards the doorway, which Kaneki moves out of the way, but before Naruto could pass him he immediately stops as his body shakes a little, causing his eyes to widen as he hits the ground, causing their eyes to widen in shock. Naruto! Both yelled as they go to his side and kneel down to him as he clutching his stomach in pain whirl his Kakugan is activated. Naruto, what's happening? Kaneki said as they heard footsteps and looked to see Tuka, which her eyes widen more seeing Naruto and immediately goes to his side, which she blinks in shock. You idiot, you haven't been eating, have you? Tuka says, shocking the two as Naruto grits his teeth as he sat up while taking deep breaths. So what? Naruto said, which immediately Tuka grabs him by his vest as she shakes him a little. Ate you, stupid, denying yourself of eating is gonna put you through so much pain, why are you doing this to yourself? Tuka yelled as Naruto looks away. I'll eat when I kill my father, I'll devour him. Naruto was cut off by Tuka slapping him in the face, causing his eyes to widen along with the others as she stands up along with pulling Naruto up. Do you have any idea how that makes me feel? Tuka yelled, causing his eyes to widen all the way as he looks down as he turns, seeing Hinami offering him the plate of meat, which he gives a smile as he picks up the whole thing and immediately devours it, surprising them at the speed which Naruto swallows the last of it. So, Tuka said, which he gives a smile. It's good. I'm okay now, Naruto told her, which she and suddenly grabs Naruto by the ear. Ow! Naruto yelled as Tuka begins pulling him out of the room as she starts dragging him towards her room. We're gonna have a talk, Tuka yelled, causing Naruto to sweat. Kaneki, Hinami, save me, Naruto yelled, but they just watch as he's being dragged away and into her room as they heard the door slam shut as they heard loud noises coming from the room, which Kaneki starts sweating, feeling bad for him, but unknown to them inside Toka's room both Naruto and Tuka are making out in the bed. Good morning, everyone, Hinami said with a bow as she's standing next to her mother, which Naruto smiles as he's cleaning a table along with Tuka and Kaneki helping as Naruto walks to her as she hugs Naruto, causing him to give a laugh as he pats her head, causing Tuka and Kaneki to smile as Hinami separates from Naruto and gives them a wave as she walks through the staff-only door as Enji shuts the door. What are you guys so gaga about, idiots? Get to work, Tuka said as Naruto just sighs as the door opens, which Naruto's eyes narrow. Welcome, Kaneki said as a person he never met before, veteran, as he gives an odd introduction as he just smells the air. What a fine aroma. I really do feel more relaxed here, he told them as the door shuts behind him. Tsukiyama, Tuka said with an annoyed tone in her voice as the now named Tsukiyama just smells the air, smiling. Long time no see, Miss Kirishima and Mr. Uzumaki, Tsukiyama said to them as Naruto finishes cleaning the table and gives Tsukiyama an annoyed stare as he began to speak. Leave now, Tsukiyama, you're annoying me, was all Naruto said as Tsukiyama just smiles. Just like Tuka, cold as ever, Tsukiyama said, not continuing as he looks at Kaneki, finally noticing him. You, with the eye patch, Tsukiyama said, suddenly gaining Kaneki's attention as Tsukiyama walks across the room towards him and stops in front of Kaneki, gaining Naruto's attention as Tsukiyama begins speaking as he encircles Kaneki. You're new here, huh? What's your name? Tsukiyama asks Kaneki, who stutters at what's happening. Kaneki. Kaneki told him as Tsukiyama just gives Kaneki a sniff before he received a kick to the side of the face, sending him into a table as it breaks with his head hitting the window, causing it to crack as Kaneki looks, seeing Naruto's extended leg with his right eye Kakugan. Try that again, Tsukiyama, then I'll dye my fists and shoes with your blood, Naruto warned as his eye turns back to normal as he puts his foot down while Tsukiyama stands up as his head was bleeding. Leave now or else you'll receive another of my kicks to the face, Naruto warned him as Tsukiyama just musters up a smile while covering the blood. No sense of mercy as always when angered, Tsukiyama said as he walks towards the door, knowing he shouldn't do anything to spike Naruto's anger here since it's a death sentence. I'll be by some other time to enjoy some coffee. Sometime when Mr. Yoshimura is around. Ravis-sant. See you later, Kaneki. We'll meet again, Tsukiyama said the last part quietly, not being heard as he leaves while shutting the door. Who was that? Kaneki asked them as Naruto looks at Kaneki. Don't get close to that guy, or you'll end up dead, was all Naruto said, causing Kaneki to blink in surprise. Naruto, you realize you'll have to pay for the damage you did, right? Enji said, causing Naruto to look down and sigh to himself, knowing he's right, but stops as heard a news reporter on the TV. The Ghoul to have been said to resemble an angel as well as the one who caused destruction, and the main reason why the 13th ward has so much bloodshed was cited in the first ward some time ago. The others look at Naruto immediately as he grits his teeth. The one-eyed angel, it's been a year since the time of his last appearance after that incident involving the deaths of a group of first-class Ghoul investigators as well as Associate Special Class Investigator Mitsumi Chino and Special Class Investigator Konami Yuri. I have no idea what actually went on since the entire group of Ghoul investigators were completely wiped out. The group itself wasn't even recognizable. The one-eyed angel was labeled SSS class after that, the same as the one-eyed owl, but I wonder who is more dangerous, the angel or the owl. The one who said that was Hisashi Ogura. Naruto, what were you doing? Tuka yelled at Naruto, who looks away. Just seeing sis. Naruto responded, causing Toka's eyes to widen all the way as she grabs him by his shirt. Are you an idiot? You realize that was very stupid. Akira knows what you look like and whou. Tuka was cut off by Naruto. Do you think I don't know that? Even so, there hasn't been an investigator looking for me. Meaning for some reason my father hasn't told them, as well as my sister. Even I know if I kill my dad, my sister would surely tell them. Naruto yelled as Tuka, silencing her as her eyes widen as Naruto looks away. Even so, I feel like something's not right. Why aren't they here? They must know about me. Yet no one looks for me. So what did my father and sister say? Naruto said, clearly confused as nothing makes sense anymore involving the CCG, as he runs his right hand through his hair. What the is happening? Naruto thinks to himself, not understanding why. Later that day, where Kaneki is. Taro is currently shocking Kaneki as the two are in an arena set up by Tsukiyama, who's watching with a smile. Get him. Wring his neck. One ghoul yelled as the other yelled, Ryo his guts out. Kaneki is currently struggling as it has no affect. This is fun. Taro says as he puts more strength into trying to kill Kaneki, which his vision is starting to get a bit blurry as drool is coming from his mouth as he closed his eyes. I'll be your teacher, and when the time comes, we'll fight together as equals, being each other's second eye. As those words reply in Kaneki's mind, his left eye opens, showing the Kakugan, shocking everyone at seeing this. Ra ag hhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhhh. Kaneki screams as he immediately moves forward and punches Taro in the face, sending him flying back as he hits the ground with Kaneki's left arm extended, shd breathing tiredly as he falls to his knees. One eyes ghoul. One said before they heard yells of pain, which the floor explodes, causing everyone's eyes to widen while Kaneki looks back, seeing dust as a figure flies out of it, shocking everyone, seeing Naruto with his hands covered in blood while his right eye is the Kakugan. Sorry I'm late, Naruto said as he walks towards Kaneki, who is shocked as Naruto helps him up as he looks at Tsukiyama, who is sweating beads of sweat. Tsukiyama, if you ever do something like this again, I'll kill you. Naruto threatened him with a dangerous tone in his as he continues walking while Tsukiyama grits his teeth angrily. In the 20th ward, Juzu is currently sitting on the opposite side of Kureo as they're talking. Yeah, I searched and searched until I found a guy about my age with spiky blood red hair with white highlights and has ocean blue eyes. He was in a hurry, but I had a good look at his face, the description was right. Juzu said to them as Kureo just smiles. Seems my son was still alive, even through after the 2 years of looking we couldn't find him, so we gave up the search, but I was wrong to think he died. Even so, I look forward to a reunion. I want to see if he's the weak child I remember, and he'll be a good test to see how the CRC gas grenades work on a ghoul. Kureo said as he stands up. Wait, doesn't that mean he only has one Kakugan like Owl and Angel? Juzu asked as Kureo gives a laugh. I don't know, but I doubt he would be either one of them. Kureo told him as he begins walking away. Naruto wonder if he's Angel, Juzu thought, smiling as he thought about Naruto. It's good to hear that Hinami and Kanani are getting along quite well. Naruto, as he was laying on her bed with Tuka laying next to him as on his back while Toka's laying next to him, which she's wearing pin short jeans and a white top. I still am angry at you not telling me you left, Tuka told Naruto with an annoyed expression as Naruto sighs but smirks devishly, causing Toka's eyes to widen as Naruto sat up. Naruto, don't you? Tuka fell to death's ears as Naruto grabs her feet as he began tickling her, causing Tuka to begin laughing. Ahahaha, Naruto, I'm gonna kill you, ahahaha. Tuka laughs with tears forming in her eyes as Naruto just smiles as he tickles her more but stops as he heard the doorbell. Hey Tuka, I think Naruto was cut off as Tuka slams her foot in Naruto's face, causing him to fall off the bed as he holds his head in pain as Tuka gets out of bees and walks towards the door and opens it, leading to the main room, which she grabs the door knob but stops and peeks through the hole in the door, seeing Yoriko. Yoriko, Tuka said, shocking, and looks back at her open door and immediately shuts it. But why? Tuka asked herself as she opens the door slowly, unknown to her Naruto was listening. Yoriko, what's wrong? Tuka asked Yoriko with a smile as she looks at Tuka with worry in her eyes. Sorry for coming unannounced, but you weren't at school today, Tuka. Yoriko told Tuka, who blinks in surprise hearing that. And you came just to check on me? Tuka asked her, surprised, while behind her the door opened slowly. And also. Yoriko stops as a major blush forms on her face, confusing Tuka, but her eyes widen as she turns fast, seeing Naruto exit her room wearing no shirt, showing off his six-pack as he turns towards the two girls and smiles as he walks toward them as he wraps his right arm around Toka's neck, who blushing. No way, Tuka, you're dating, Yoriko said, shocked as she is shocked at seeing a handsome guy wearing no shirt come out of Toka's room, which Naruto got an evil thought as he leans towards Toka's ear. Didn't you even tell her about us? Naruto asked Tuka, which her eyes widen. And Naruto, stop slap. Tuka stops immediately as her wild body shivers from Naruto slapping her ass, which Yoriko is blushing redder than a tomato, which she immediately hands her a bowl of food. Tuka, eat this with him. Bye, she said quickly as she shuts the door fast as Tuka was shocked. Sigh, seriously? Naruto stops her as he immediately kisses her to drop the food, but Naruto used his foot, stopping it from hitting the floor as he places it on the floor slowly as they continue kissing, which Naruto slips his tongue into her mouth as they continue kiss, which he pushes her up against a wall as they continue kissing, but they soon separate, which Naruto gives her a smile causing her to blush as he kisses her neck and gives it a lock, gaining a from Tuka as he separates from her and picks up the plate. Just you wait, more is gonna come tonight, which you'll be eating for most of the night in pleasure, Naruto said, which she just looks away with a blush and takes the food out of Naruto's hand, surprising him as she walks to the table as takes a spoon out of the silverware holder. Hey, you're very kind, Tuka, Naruto told her as he takes out a spoon to surprising her. That's why I love you so much, Naruto told her as both look at the food with determination as they dip their spoons in the food and take out some of the food, and at the same time they both ate the piece and swallow with disgust. Prepare your... Tuka stops seeing Naruto in the bathroom throwing up. Just one bite of that food could bring an SSS class ghoul to his knees. I'm sorry Tuka, I've failed you, Naruto said as Tuka just sweat drops at seeing this. You've got to be kidding me. Pathetic, Tuka said as she takes another bite, which her eyes widen. 5 seconds later, Tuka is next to Naruto as she too is throwing up in the toilet. You were saying, Naruto told her, smirking, which she just glares at him. Shut it, you just had to slap my ass in front of my friend. Sooner or later everyone will know about what you did, Tuka said as she glares at Naruto as her head is over the toilet, which Naruto just chuckles. You felt exhilaration from that, didn't you? Naruto said, gaining another blush from Tuka as Naruto just gives a laugh until they heard a sound coming from the window in the kitchen, which Naruto bolts out the bathroom with narrowed eyes, followed by Tuka. Naruto immediately finds and opens the balcony, a door which he walks on the balcony and looks around with Tuka at his side. I definitely heard something. We were being watched, which they heard a motorcycle and looked down, seeing a guy riding a black Yamaha motorcycle while wearing a black skeleton-shaped helmet that's black along with a purple and black trench coat, causing Naruto's eyes to narrow. I don't understand, but whoever was watching us knows who we are, Naruto told Tuka, who sighs, not liking this one bit, which both soon turn back to the food and sighs. Later that day at night. Where are they? Naruto yelled as he's looking around, not seeing Kaneki in his apartment since Tuka Ewmy missing along with Kaneki. His search stops as he heard knocking from the door, which he runs to the doorway and opens it to find the same man watching him and Tuka at the doorway, which gives Naruto a card, which he looks at it showing a map of a building, causing Naruto's eyes to widen as he looks at the man who walks back towards his motorcycle, which Naruto's eyes narrow. You better hurry, was all he said as he drives away, which Naruto's eyes narrow seeing him already gone. 6 minutes later, where Kaneki, Nishiki, and Tuka are. Tokyo Ghoul Ost Yutaka Yamada. Ra HHHHHHHH. Nishiki yelled loudly as he charges full speed towards Tsukiyama, who merely turns to Nishiki and punches him in the face with his left fist, sending him spinning in the air, but when he landed on the ground he immediately charges again with a yell, but sent spinning back with a right kick to the face, but he gets up again and charges, causing Tsukiyama to grit his teeth as he grabs him by his neck. What is with you? For Pete's sake. Sukiyama asked him, but all Nishiki did was grit his teeth more and gives a yell, pushing his hands away, which caused Sukiyama to stab him with his Kukaku Kagun, causing Nishiki to vomit out blood as he falls backwards and hits the ground, while Sukiyama gives a laugh as he smiles. Ha! There's no way you can bear me if you can't even use your Kagun. A ghoul's strength is largely dependent in his Kagun. If your Kagun is your engine, then people's flesh is gasoline. When you have a poor diet, you can only deliver commensurate strength, Sukiyama told them, smiling as Tuka is on her knees holding her stomach. What he says is true, Tuka said as she sat up a little. Tuka, Kaneki said worriedly as she gives a smile. I didn't expect Yoriko's cooking to affect me here, Tuka said to Kaneki as there's 2 lines of blood coming from her mouth. Now then, that's enough of the sideshow, Sukiyama said, but was stopped as 2 gauges grab his shoulders, which his eyes widen a little, shocked, and turns while speaking. You are becoming a pest, Sukiyama told him. Shut up, was all Nishiki said as his face was grabbed by Sukiyama, which slams him to the ground and behind, stabbing him over and over as he spoke. Stop annoying me, 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 stop annoying me. Stop annoying me, stop annoying me, Sukiyama yelled as Kaneki was shocked, while Tuka grits her teeth and Sukiyama finally stops with a smile. Let's be friends here, Nishio, Sukiyama told him as he turns away and walks towards Kimi, but his leg was grabbed, stopping him. There's nothing else. Aside from Kimi, I have nothing else. ... Lay a hand on her and I'll kill you. Even if it costs me my life, I'll kill you, Nishiki said, not even giving up as Sukiyama just stares at him with narrowed eyes as he picks him up by the neck but stops as a shadow appears enveloping him, causing Sukiyama to turn fast, seeing a shadowed figure appear behind the class as it shatters with a foot, smashing into Sukiyama's face, sending him to the ground as he skids back, while both Tuka and Kaneki were shocked. So this is what you were doing, Sukiyama? You've made one hell of a mistake by attacking my friends and trying to harm an innocent bystander. The one who said that was Naruto as Sukiyama stood up, seeing his white crystallized wings as his right Kakugan is activated. Die! Sukiyama yelled, sending his Kukaku straight for Naruto, who blocks using his wings, which Sukiyama stumbled back as the impact. You don't want to anger an angel, otherwise they will fall and become a monster, Naruto said, causing Sukiyama to grit his teeth as Naruto charges straight for him fast, but Sukiyama noticed something, smiles. Seems you're not at full power too, Sukiyama, but his eyes immediately widen, uses his Kagun to blocks Naruto's left wing, which he smiles. Kalmato, Sukiyama stops as vomits out blood as Naruto's right wing is infer his Kagun stabbing through his stomach. You are forgotten about your stomach area, Naruto told him as he jumps back and unleashes a barrage of white crystals which rain down on Sukiyama, causing him to stumble back as he's reviving cuts in his body, which he falls backwards and hits the ground as Naruto's wings turn back into its liquid-like form as it's fluttering, still looking like angel wings. Ahahaha. Sukiyama laughs as he sat up, smiling widely. I am so glad, Mr. Uzumaki. Imagine me taking this much damage even when you're not at full powered. As Sukiyama said that, he stood up slowly as his wounds were healing, but his stomach was healing higher slowly. I want to see your Kakuja so much, Sukiyama said, which Naruto's eyes narrow while Sukiyama's Kakugan turns into a blade, shocking Kaneki. Let me dress the area around Kaneki using your organs as trimmings. Such an unexpected hors d'oeuvre. Ingrateful, Sukiyama yelled as he charges and Naruto uses his wings blocking his blade as both struggle, which Naruto grits his teeth as he touches his stomach, while Kaneki was shocked and worried for Naruto but stops hearing his words. Kaneki, calm down, I'll protect all of you. I won't allow my comrades to die, not like last time. So, believe in me, Naruto told Kaneki, who has wide eyes, which Naruto turns back to Sukiyama. I'm no longer holding back, Naruto said as his wings motive away fast, causing Sukiyama's Kagun to move up, pointing up high as Naruto's fist was embedded into Sukiyama's stomach, which bones cracked and broke as Sukiyama goes skidding back as he receives an uppercut to the face, then a roundhouse kick along with a barrage of crystals. As it ends, Sukiyama is stumbling back, bleeding a lot, while Naruto falls to one knee. I really shouldn't have eaten all that human food, Naruto said out loud. I guess it's unavoidable, Sukiyama said, which he turns to Kimi. It's absolutely not what I'd hoped for. As Sukiyama said that, he took out a napkin and runs towards Kimi while wiping his fingers, causing Naruto's eyes to widen, but they widen more as he noticed someone watching. But tactically, I need a bite, Sukiyama yelled, but as he headed for her, Nishiki's right hand raises as he grabbed his tie, stopping him as he looks at Nishiki with shock. Nishiki, what are you, a zombie? Sukiyama stops as he felt a cold chill and heard footsteps along with Naruto, Tuka, and Kanaki's. A ghoul, who has so much conviction in his eyes to protect this human woman. You have earned my respect, the person said as Sukiyama turned, slowly sweating, seeing the same man that Naruto and Tuka saw standing behind Sukiyama, but they can see he had black shoulder-length hair and his face concealed by a white mask with a red lightning symbol over the right eye, as well as it also has a thin red slit across the mouth. And no, it can't be, Sukiyama said fearfully as Kaneki knew who that man was along with everyone else in the room. Special Class Investigator, Zane Execution, known as CCG's Executioner, and only one that was said to be as equally powerful as Kisho Arima, making him also undefeated. What the hell is he doing here? Naruto said as from Zane's coat he takes out his quink but doesn't take out the sheathed katana quink. The quink he's holding looks exactly like a kusarigama except the blade is longer. Let's see. A piece of shit ghoul acting high class. Pathetic, Zane said, causing Sukiyama to grit his teeth as Zane looks at all of them. She goes to one knee and pats Nishiki on the head. Rest now, your fight is over, Zane told Nishiki as he stood up straight as his neck cracked as he scratched the back of his head with his right hand. Let's get this over with already, Zane said as Sukiyama made his move as he thrusts his right hand forward, but there were sparks flying as everyone's eyes widened seeing Zane holding the chain behind his head. Is that all? Zane asked as Sukiyama was struggling to push forward, which he jumps back as Zane simply stares at him as he charges again at Zane and swings his Kagun to the side, but all Zane did was lean backwards with incredible speed and flexibility as Zane's right door immediately connects with his chin, sending him a couple of feet in the air as Zane reacts fast as he does a spin and slams his left foot into Sukiyama's stomach, breaking all his ribs, and he's sent backwards as he hits the ground, but he gets up slowly as Zane behind, spinning the quink as Sukiyama gets up fully and glares at Zane as his Kagun changes form. I won't die, by your hands, Sukiyama yelled as he sends it straight at Zane. Then you die, was the only thing Zane said as he immediately charges, dodging the Kagun by moving quickly to the right as he swings his quink as it wraps around Sukiyama's body, causing his eyes to widen as he begins shaking while his Kagun starts to recede back into Sukiyama, who's shaking. The chains cause the RC cells to recede, but your fear is in the way. This quink was made for restraining a ghoul, and Zane said as everyone was shocked along with Naruto as his eyes widened seeing Sukiyama's head hit the ground as Sukiyama's body goes limp as it also hits the ground. I don't know if you'll live or not, but who cares? Should have aimed for the head, Zane said as he pulls the chain back as it flies into his hand as he begins walking away as he walked past Naruto, Tuka, and Kaneki, who are shocked at him not even taking the fight seriously, which Zane stops and turns fast as he runs towards Kaneki, causing their eyes to widen. Kaneki, run, Naruto yelled, but it was too late as Zane was already holding Kaneki with his left hand on his head, which he takes his weapon out and places it at Kaneki's head. Now it's time for a test of mine, Zane said as Naruto grits his teeth with anger. Now, Naruto, kill Tuka now or Kaneki dies, Zane said, causing Naruto's eyes to widen in complete and utter horror as he's frozen, not knowing what to do as Zane just stares at Naruto. That's what happens with ghoul investigators and ghouls, Zane said as he let go of Kaneki and stood up, which Naruto glares at Zane with anger and hatred at what he did while Zane puts his weapon away. The enemy takes a hostage and you've got an impossible choice, and someone ends up dead unless you make a divine move, a move that can turn a losing end into a winning end, Zane said as he looks at the three and he walks towards Naruto, then bends down to him as he grits his teeth, which Zane stares at Naruto's name. It seems my choice was correct after all to allow you to live, Zane said, causing Naruto to blink in surprise as Zane ruffles Naruto's hair with his left hand as he stood up and walks past Naruto. You people have conviction, even so all of you have yet to sprout like a flower. It's quite difficult to see one's convictions through. It will change over time or not. Like you ghouls, I also have a conviction. I came to see if I was right, which I was, about my conviction. This generation is the one that will make my conviction to come true, Zane told them as he begins walking away, which Naruto stood up with narrowed eyes. What are you talking about? Naruto asked as Zane continues walking as he stops at the door. My conviction is to find a way to bring peace between ghouls and humans. I let you live by covering your trail, causing the ghoul investigators to lose you. I wanted to see what you will become, and I was correct. Your eyes have much strength in them, but the real Naruto has yet to arrive, Zane said, confusing then, especially at the last part. What are you talking about? Naruto said, confused, but he continues walking. Who knew? It's protecting, but in that way, Zane said to himself as he walks out of the room as the door shuts, leaving them, which Naruto looks down, thinking about what Zane said, while Tuka stood up with her Kakugan activating, drawing Naruto's attention as her Kagun appears, while they heard movement and turned to Nishiki, who crawls up the steps to Kimi slowly. Kimi, Nishiki said weakly, gaining Kimi's attention as she looks still blindfolded. Nishiki, Kimi said as Nishiki continues. Just hold on, I'm coming to help you now, as Nishiki said that he begins untie her, but stood as he heard Toka's wing. Nishiki, Tuka says, causing him to look up with wide eyes. Stand aside, Tuka said as Naruto stood up slowly. Tuka, Kaneki said slowly as Tuka continues talking, not taking her eyes off of Kimi. She knows about both you and Kaneki, right? I can't let a woman this dangerous go on living. As Tuka finished, she blinks in little surprise, seeing Nishiki looking straight at her, but with a look on his face like he has nothing else to lose if she dies. Tuka, Naruto said as he places a hand on her shoulder, which she looks at him as he shakes her head. This isn't right. Let's go home, Naruto told her as Kaneki begins talking out loud. Tuka, you can't. She's like, hide as to me, I'm to Naruto, or Yoriko as to you. What if that was Yoriko up there and not Miss Kimi? Would you be able to kill Yoriko? Kaneki asked as Tuka grits her teeth. Shut up, I have to get rid of her, to make sure that doesn't happen, Tuka yelled as she was about to fire her crystals, but stops as Naruto backhands her in the face, causing her eyes to widen as she looks at Naruto in shock. Tuka, try to lay one hand on the human and I'll take you down. I won't let you go down this path, Naruto told her, which she grits her teeth and immediately runs away from them as she runs out the door, causing Naruto to look at his hand. Tuka, Naruto said as he looks at the doorway. Where Tuka is, ... They don't understand. Once they know what we are, they'll just turn us into the CCG, Tuka told herself as she's sitting in the roof of a building, but suddenly chains wrap around her, which her seats widen as Hikagun recedes. In front of her was Zane Egos looking down at her as he's spinning the weapon. What do you want? Tuka asked angrily as Zane stares at her. You're Naruto's lover, so I have to give you advice too, Zane told her, which her eyes narrow. Let go of your anger of the past, you have to forget about your hatred for the CCG investigators, Zane told her, which she glares at Zane in anger. What? Tuka said with anger as Zane continues. Believe me, as a ghoul investigator, I've met a lot of guys who feel the way you do, like Naruto's dad Kureo Mato, who hates the one-eyed owl for killing his entire team. Trust me, for those who follow the path of revenge and hatred, it never ends well. Even for me, you'll only tear yourself apart, and even if you succeed in some way in killing all of us, what will you have then? I'll give you a hint, it's nothing but emptiness, Zane told her as she gets more angry. Shut the hell up. What makes you think you know anything about me? It's easy for you to say this since you know nothing, Tuka yelled at Zane, who stares at her. If I killed your family, friends, and loved ones, then you'll understand what they did. Because of you guys my family was torn apart. You know nothing about losing someone, Tuka screamed at Zane, who said nothing, but he finally speaks after a few seconds. Tokyo Ghoul Yutaka Yamada. Well, you're right, but it's already happened. Everyone you're talking about has already been killed by both the CCG and ghouls, Zane said, causing Toka's eyes to widen all the way in complete shock. My wife was pregnant with our child. She was in fact a ghoul, but the CCG found out and killed her along with my child. My friends were killed by the one-eyed owl and Naruto. My parents were killed by the members of Aogiri Tree who were trying to get me to join them, which I didn't. Zane said as he grabs his mask and shows his face, showing his face, causing Toka's eyes to widen all the face as his face has scars and burn marks. He puts it back on. I lived far longer than you have, Tuka, and I have felt far greater pain than you could ever know. But we aren't that different. We still were able to find new friends to fill the void in our souls, Zane said, which Tuka thinks of Naruto, Kaneki, Hinami, Yoshimaru, and the others. These scars are what came with my revenge. You have power, but you have to learn to use it to protect what you care for, otherwise you'll fall on that wing of yours. You have yet to fully sprout like Naruto, Zane said as he pulls the chain off of Tuka, who looks down, which Zane looks away from her and at the night sky. I can feel it. The tide if balance between Aogiri Tree and CCG will soon shift, Zane thought to himself, and looks back at Tuka, which he leans down towards her ear. Your father still lives. He's currently in the 4th floor of the Ghoul Detention Center, Zane said, causing Toka's eyes to widen in complete and utter shock. If I'm right, I've seen Naruto there at night watching the building, which he just have been planning on entering it. The only one that has a connection to Naruto is your father, Zane said as Tuka is unable to speak as she looks up, seeing that he's already gone. Naruto is currently in his room as he's laying on his bed with his eyes closed. Now, Naruto, kill Tuka now or Kaneki dies. The enemy takes a hostage and you've got an impossible choice, and someone ends up dead unless you make a divine move, a move that can turn a losing end into a winning end. You people have conviction, even so all of you have yet to sprout like a flower. My conviction is to find a way to bring peace between ghouls and humans. I let you live by covering your trail, causing the ghoul investigators to lose you. I wanted to see what you will become, and I was correct. Your eyes have much strength in them, but the real Naruto has yet to arrive. Who knew? It's protecting you, but in that way. Naruto finally opens his eyes as he stares at the ceiling. Real Naruto, protecting me. What the hell was he talking about? Naruto asked himself as his right eye turned into the Kakugan as he sat up and looks at the mirror in his room, seeing himself in his Kakugan. What the hell could he have been talking about? Naruto asked himself as he places both hands on his head. That man couldn't possibly understand us. He knows nothing of what it means to lose people, a voice said, which Naruto's eyes narrowed as he sees the same figure in the mirror wearing the mask, which it was instantly shattered by Naruto's wing, which it receded as his right hand covered his right eye as his left narrowed. Suddenly there was a knock on the door, confusing Naruto, who walks towards it as he grabs the doorknob and turns it, which he opens it to allow Hinami to enter, which she immediately enters while shutting the door as she hugs Naruto, confusing him as well as being surprised seeing this, which he places 2 hands on her shoulders, which she looks at him. Is something wrong, Hinami? Naruto asked her as she looks down. Mom and me haven't heard from Dad. I want to see him, Hinami said, which Naruto's eyes widen a little, which soon they heard knocking in the door. Hinami, are you in there? Kaneki asked them. Kaneki, go get Ryuko, Naruto told him, which Hinami's eyes widen at his words. No, I don't want to see her, Hinami told him, but he pats her on the head as he gives her a sad smile. Don't worry, sooner or later you'll see your dad again, so have faith in your mom as well as in yourself, Naruto told her as she looks down, causing him to smile at her. It's okay to be sad, but never stop thinking of a better tomorrow. You have a family along with everyone in Anteku. They're your family well, Naruto told her, which she hugs him with tears in her eyes. I miss Dad, Hinami says, crying as Naruto smiles sadly too. Hinami, you're hurting your mother more than you know, Naruto told her as her eyes wide as she stops hugging Naruto while there was a knock at the door, causing her to open it, seeing Ryuko with tears in her eyes as she goes on one knee, hearing everything. Hinami, Mom misses Dad, too, Ryuko said as she's crying, which the door opens fully with Hinami crying as she walks forwards towards her mom. Mom, Hinami said, reaching her arms forward. Hinami, Ryuko says as the two hug each other while crying at Hinami, start brushing her hand across Hinami's hair while saying, Hinami, I'm sorry. Mom, don't cry, Hinami told her with a small nod, which Ryuko does the same thing. I won't cry anymore, thank you, Hinami. Let's wait together until Dad comes to get us, Ryuko said, causing Naruto to smile at her and begins walking out of his room, which he passes them and smiles seeing Kaneki as he passes him. Toka's room. Naruto uses the spare key as he opens Toka's room, finding her laying in her bed, which she looks at him then looks away as Naruto walks to her bed as he turns away from her as he sits on her bed. "I'm sorry for what I said and did to you. I didn't want you got fall to hatred," Naruto told her as she looks at him. "Truth is, I wouldn't have done it. I could see how much she meant to him and he meant to her. If she died then Nishiki would have nothing, he would be better off dead," Naruto told her as she sat up in her bed as she's looking down. "It's okay. I deserved that," Tuka said as both are looking down but heard the doorbell gaining their attention as they heard it again, which Tuka sighs and stood up as she walks towards the door and leans on it while Naruto just watches. "What do you want?" Tuka asked the person on the other side of the door. It's about working tomorrow's shift," Kaneki asks her, but all Tuka said was, "Pass." Listen." Kaneki stops before the tone in his voice changes. "Earlier, Hinami and Mrs. Ryuko were fighting. But they were able to patch things up. Looking at the two of them, I thought, families sure are nice. I thought, the affection between mother and child doesn't care about being a human or ghoul. This shouldn't be a surprise, but until my body ended up this way, I didn't have any idea. If we could all come to realize that, like Zane told us, the relationship between Mr. Nishio and Miss Kimi could serve as a guidepost for the way things between human and ghoul could be, I thought," Kaneki said while Naruto is currently smiling at what she said. "So, what did you want?" Tuka asked him. "Oh, nothing. I shouldn't have opened my big mouth back there, without knowing anything about you and Yoriko, and I'm sorry." "Okay, I'll let the manager know," Kaneki said as that heard him begin walking away while Tuka has a smile on her face, which Naruto closed his eyes with a smile on his face while outside was Zane leaning against the wall listening to everything. As Naruto's smiling he stops as he looks down. Peace between ghouls and humans. For that to happen one side or both must be wiped out. Sooner or later the choice will be clear, but with Zane and Arima in Tokyo, that must mean he's going to arrive sooner or later, Naruto thought to himself, thinking about the third death dealer of CCG. Within China at the Kai Shi Lian hideout. Please no, the ghoul was cut off as his head was sent flying as the body hits the ground. In the middle of the room there was a pile of dead ghouls and on top of them was one man sitting on them as he was clicking on his phone. "Seems I'm not going to America, but back to Tokyo," the man, who appears to be in his 20s, said as he has blood red hair and red eyes. He's currently wearing a white suit that only his pants are covered in blood and wearing a red tie and a gray t-shirt under it. The man stops as he got a phone call and answers it as he stood up and walks down the dead bodies as he heard movement and looks, seeing a ghoul trying to escape as he sighs and moves fast, which the ghoul turns fast seeing no one and looks in front of him to receive a kick to the face as he hits the ground hard, which fear appears in his eyes seeing the man staring down at the ghoul, which the man shows an insane and terrifying smile. "Let's count down from 1,000 by 7 shall we?" he asked the man, which his eyes widen in complete fear, and for an hour straight there was only screams of pain from the hideout as the man walks out of it as he's cleaning the blood off his fingers with a bored look on his face. Special Class Investigator Akashi Zone, known as CCG's Red Flash, and the new warden of the Ghoul Detention Center. Naruto is currently wiping the tables in Anteku as he looks outside seeing that it's still raining, which he sighs wanting it to end, but the doorbell is heard, which he looks and his eyes widen all the way seeing a soaked Wei Hinami who's crying and Kaneki who's also wet, which he immediately runs to even as he stops in front of them as Hinami immediately highs Naruto as she's crying. What happened?" Naruto asked Kaneki, who looks away. Mom told me to run back to Anteku," Hinami said crying, which Naruto's eyes immediately widen all the way as tears appear on his eyes while Hinami remember what happened clearly. Flashback. Dad, Hinami said the second part confused as she stopped running now in a alley with two men in front of her holding umbrellas and suitcases, which Ryuko arrives. "Hinami," Ryuko yelled as age shows duel and her eyes widen to a halt as Hinami's eyes are completely wide but understanding. "What's that smell?" Hinami asked as one of them begins talking. "Nice rain, isn't it?" he said as he shows his face under the umbrella as Kureo. "But I wouldn't want it raining any harder than this," As Kureo said that as Kusaba and Nakajima arrive behind them holding guns which Ryuko looks at them then turns back to the two Ghoul investigators while the other two behind them are getting closer. I wouldn't be able to hear your death throes, after all. Could I have a moment if your time, Mrs. Fueguchi? Kureo asked as Ryuko places her left hand on Hinami's left shoulder causing her to look up at Ryuko. Mom, Hinami said as Ryuko gives her a sad smile and looks back at them as she looks down with her eyes closed as 4 flower petals come from her back and spread out 2 on each side. Ho! Kureo said as the petals reach for him and his partner Mado immediately which they both jump back, dropping the umbrellas and soon the petals recede and cover both of them giving the two cover as Ryuko bends down a little with both of her hands touching Hinami's cheeks as she wipes her tears away which Hinami touches both hands. Hinami, run away. Ryuko told her with a smile causing Hinami's eyes to widen all the way in shock while Ryuko's eyes ate closed as she just gives her a smile. Tokyo Ghoul Yutaka Yamada. Mom, Hinami said as Ryuko continues. It's all right. You head on back to Anteku ahead of me. I'll be sure to come back later. Ryuko lied as Hinami knew it too. No, no. Hinami said the second part as she begins crying and hugs Ryuko who hugs her back while crying. I want to stay with you, Mom, Hinami told her. Naruto and Tuka will become your new parents, so don't worry, Ryuko told her as her eyes turn into the Kakugan. Kusaba, your cue bullets. Nakajima yelled as the flower petals extend towards them while Kusaba responded by stuttering and saying, "All right," which both begin firing but they were immediately knocked away as Ryuko turns to Hinami serious. Go on. Ryuko yelled as Hinami was horrified as she let go of Ryuko's hand slowly as she's crying and turns away as she starts running away passing the two men. Hold it. Kusaba yelled as Ryuko is looking back at her daughter fleeing the area. Reminds me how my half-ghoul son got away from me when I was trying to kill him. It makes me sick, Kureo said angering Ryuko who glares at him while as this was happening Hinami was running passing people. Somebody, big brothers. Big sister, Hinami yelled as she clutches the bag as she runs faster as she slips and falls to the ground and gets up again forgetting the bag as she confined running as she cried and hits the ground again. Mom, Hinami screams the last part as Kaneki saw her. Hinami, Kaneki yelled from across the street gaining her attention. Big bro, Hinami said while Kaneki runs across the street as Two-Card missed him. Sorry. Kaneki yelled as he makes it to the other side as places his left hand in Hinami's right shoulder. Hinami, what the matter? Kaneki said as Hinami replies. Mom is, Hinami said it as she grips Kaneki's jacket. Where is she? Kaneki asked her as Hinami points ahead from where she came from and Kaneki switches the umbrella to his left hand as his right grabs Hinami's tight hand as they begin running while Kaneki said, let's go. The two hurry quickly as Kaneki looks at her not knowing what he must and can do as they soon arrive seeing Ryuko. Mom, Hinami was stopped by Kaneki covering her mouth as he kills her into the corner. No, keep quiet, Kaneki told her as he looks to see two investigators in front and behind Ryuko who's on her knees. Any last words? I'll listen to you, out of pity, Kureo told her as Ryuko is currently looking down with her hair concealing her eyes. What's wrong? There's Mahawk reason to hold back, Kureo told her as Ryuko looks up as her eyes are closes while crying she was about to speak as Kureo swung down as he said, oops. Which the ground is soon covered in blood. Too bad, your time is up, Kureo told her as Hinami screams with Kaneki's hands over her mouth and eyes as she saw everything while Kaneki was horrified. Ost end. Flashback end. Naruto was standing before them completely emotionless as Hinami is crying and Kaneki looks down but noticed Naruto's fists gripped as they're bleeding. 1 hour later, everyone that works at Anteku along with Yomo are currently in the conference room while Naruto is leaning against the wall with his hair shadowing his eyes as he emotionless while the door opens showing a surprised Tuka entering. Was all Tuka said confused as everyone looks at her sadly while Kaneki and Naruto are not looking at her while Yomo is not showing a sad look on his face. Yoshimaru gives Tuka a smile as he begins speaking. Tuka, how are you feeling? Yoshimaru asks her as she answered. I'm sorry I've missed so much work, Tuka told him knowing she's missed days. That's okay, Yoshimaru told her. Has something happened? Tuka asked them as no one answered besides Yoshimaru, who showed a sad look on his face. The Ghoul investigators have taken Mrs. Ryuko's life, Yoshimaru said, shocking Tuka completely as her eyes widen all the way as she closed her eyes and grits her teeth as her left hand hits the wall, causing cracks to appear. Mrs. Ryuko, Tuka says as Kaneki grits his teeth as he's looking down with his eyes closed. What about Hinami? Is Hinami safe? Tuka yelled, wanting to know as she places both hands on the couch. I put her to bed in the other room, Yoshimaru told her. Her face. Did they see her face? Tuka yelled as no one answered, causing her to fall to her knees. What the hell? How could this be any worse? Tuka said quietly as Yoshimaru continues. If it comes down to it, we'll move Hinami out to the 24th ward with Naruto, Yoshimaru says, causing her eyes to widen in anger. You're kidding, right? That cesspool. There's no way Hinami can survive there on her own even with Naruto, Tuka yelled loudly. Tuka, Naruto said quietly, but she continues while Naruto whims walking. We could always kill the doves, couldn't we? Every last one of them. I mean, we've got Naruto and Mr. Yomo, and if we all work together. Tuka stops as Naruto walks past her, which he immediately grabs his shoulder. Tuka, don't get involved, was all Naruto told her, causing her eyes to widen as she glares at him. You care about Hinami as if she was your little sister or daughter, and even so you won't do anything. Tuka stops as Naruto's left hand covered the left side of his face as he looks at Tuka with eyes showing nothing but anger and hatred. At Tuka could feel the ki radiating from her as he begins walking to the door. I'll take full responsibility for my actions, Mr. Yoshimaru, Naruto said as he leaves the room. Few hours later, sundown, inside the CCG 20th branch office within the main office. So Jason's base isn't in the 20th ward after all, Eamon said as while Kureo just smiles. Judging by this report, it seems like he's in the 11th ward, Kureo told him as Eamon puts in his thoughts. You think Jason is unloved with the organized movement? Eamon asked him as Kureo replied to his question. That's what my instincts are telling me. I hate to say this, but there's nothing we can do outside our jurisdiction, Eamon. We'll have to let Special Investigator Marud have Jason, Kureo told them as Nakajima reads a piece of paper. So the only S ranks left in the 20th ward are the binge eater and the gourmet, he ashes them as Kureo replied. They're laying low. Kureo stops immediately as he stood up with wide eyes, which the others turn, seeing something heading straight for the window full speed as their eyes widen. As that, Kusaba said as his eyes widen, all the figure breaks through the window entering, causing everyone to stumble back against the wall except a shocked Eamon and Kureo, which he grits his teeth as Kusaba pulls out his gun aiming for Naruto's head, which he glances at Kusaba, causing his eyes to widen as immediately his right wing is impaled into Kusaba's chest, causing his eyes to widen as he vomits out blood, which his right wing sends Kusaba out the window. Kusaba, Nakajima was stopped as Naruto turns to him as he reaches his left hand, grabbing him by his neck as he lifts him in the air. An innocent life for lives that are not innocent. A fair price to pay, don't you agree, Kureo? Naruto said as he glances at Kureo, which his wings immediately fire crystals at him while he jumps to the side as Eamon throws a chair aiming for Naruto's head as he knocks it away with his right hand and fires crystals at Eamon, who jumps out of the way, which Naruto heard a snap as he looks to find a dead Nakajima in his hands. Oops, too late, Naruto said as he drops him on the floor and his wings destroy the table as the others escape while Eamon and Kureo are facing Naruto. You shouldn't have separated from you Quinks. Now I'll end you too. Naruto stops as his eyes widen as he heard drops of blood, which he coughs out blood. The reason why was because there was a deep slash in his back, causing Naruto to turn to be facing a smiling Akashi. Seems taking the jet was a smart idea, Akashi said, causing Naruto's eyes to widen as he jumps back while his wound begins healing slowly, which Akashi stops standing on the broken table and looks at Kureo and Eamon. You two, get out of my sight or I'll kill you. I need to see if this so-called one-eyed owl is a challenge, Akashi said as Naruto grits his teeth under his mask as from Akashi's sleeves two hidden blades appear, which are double-edged swords. Sean's Naruto's eyes too narrow as the two face each other while Eamon was wide-eyed, which Kureo's eyes narrowed. Eamon, let's leave, Kureo told him as he walks towards the doorway as Naruto looks at him and looks back, which his eyes widen, no longer seeing Akashi. What? Naruto thought before a sword rips through his chest, causing his eyes to widen even more as he turns, seeing Akashi with his left hidden blade sword pulling out of his back as his right is heading for his back, which his eyes widen all way as Naruto's left eye's color becomes dark blue and a serious expression appears on Naruto's face as Akashi felt something different as he then jumps back while pulling the blade out, dodging Naruto's left wing, which Naruto immediately takes off, flying out the window, causing Akashi to have a bored look on his face as Naruto is flying away at top speed, knowing he's at a disadvantage in a closed space like this. While Akashi just watches that feeling. It's just like Arima, but no, it couldn't be, must have been my imagination, but if it wasn't then, Akashi thought as the blades recede into his sleeves as a psychotic smile appears on his face. There's more to him than meets the eye. He could be the one that will give me the challenge of my life and the one that will make me get serious, Akashi thought as he gives a laugh but stops as his eyes widen all the way as he touched his cheek and found a cut, causing his eyes to widen, seeing blood. That moment, he reacted at the same speed of me and must have fired a crystal, increasing the speed, causing me to receive a cut through. He doesn't even realize he's not fully awakened yet, Akashi thought to himself as he looks back out the window where Naruto is gone. Arima, Zane, he's mine, Akashi said quietly as he begins walking towards the door but stops as he looks at the dead Nakajima. Piece of worthless trash, Akashi said as he walks out of the room with a bored look on his face. Naruto enters through his window slowly as once he enters he hits the ground, which the door opens, gaining his attention, seeing Tuka and Kaneki enter. You guys were waiting by my door? Naruto asked as they're at his side. Naruto, you're bleeding a lot. Who did this to you? Tuka asked, yelled as she removes his coat, showing his top clothing under it soaking blood and slashed, causing their eyes to widen shock at the wound. Kaneki, get the first aid, Tuka said, but Naruto sat up shaking his head. No. But you're bleeding a lot, Kaneki said, but the two heard footsteps and turned, seeing Yoshimura. Naruto has been injured. He needs medical attention, Kaneki told Yoshimura, but all he said was, no, shocking the two. Huh? Kaneki exclaimed, not understanding. I said no, Yoshimura told Kaneki, who's not understanding. What aid you talking about? Kaneki questioned as Yoshimura continues. If he's taken action against the doves, it means that he must accept full responsibility for whatever happens. He's accepted that when he decided to leave, meaning whether he lives or dies, it's none of our concern, Yoshimura told him as Naruto decides to speak. I can heal, but it'll take time. In the meantime, leave my room, Naruto said to them as Kaneki goes to get the first aid. Kaneki, enough, Naruto yelled, gaining his attention. Is none of your concern, Naruto told him as Yoshimura could see a stab wound from his chest, causing his eyes to narrow at who did it, which he then leaves the room. It doesn't matter what happens to me, Kaneki, but even so I couldn't allow those men to live after taking an innocent life and making Hinami an orphan. They deserved judgment for what they did and I regret nothing at all, since my life is ruled by anger, Naruto said to them as Kaneki's eyes widen as he sighed. I don't think the presence of the investigators is wrong either. Nor do I think you're right for what you did. But when I saw Mrs. Ryuko's last moments, I realized something important. Regardless if it's a human or ghoul, I can't stand it when someone I know dies. If you were to die, then it would hurt me than death, Kaneki said, causing his eyes to widen as he shows a sad smile while he stood up. Then what will you do? Naruto asked him as Tuka also stood up. I want to help you. I won't kill any investigators, but I can't just fit around and do nothing, either, Kaneki said as Tuka gives a nod, agreeing. Good, then we need to kill the last two guys, and one of them is my father, Naruto said, causing their eyes took down as hatred appears in Naruto's eyes. Next day, within the CCG's 20th office building meeting. To show our respect for the courage of investigators Ippei Kusaba and Yasunori Nakajima, who lost their lives in the line of duty, a moment of silence, the man said as everyone in the room became quiet until the silence was broken by laughter, causing their eyes tile down as Amon turned fast as his teeth grits, seeing Akashi Zero standing in the room with his partners Makoto Mibuchi, who has pale skin and having a wide, arrogant smirk on his face, along with he has almost shoulder-length, dead black hair and grayish-brown eyes. He has his hair parted with some locks between his eyes. He's a associate special class investigator and partnered with Akashi because of his cruelty, just like Akashi but not at his level. Seriously, line of duty. I heard that the one-eyed angel just broke into the office window and killed the two easily, which it retreated after Akashi dealt with it. Line of duty, my ass. Makoto said, smirking while Amon grits his teeth along with other people at his words. Makoto, let's head back to the third ward, Akashi told him as he begins walking away as Makoto sighs and picks up his suitcase. You have no right saying that. Someone yelled as the two stopped, and Makoto turns with an irritated look on his face, seeing an angry Amon walking towards the two as he stops in front of Makoto. Is someone angry? Makoto asked him as he sticks his tongue out, angering Amon, who goes to throw a punch but stops as a blade was at his neck, and glances at Akashi, who's looking at Amon with an annoyed look on his face, but he shied a dark and sinister smile. Those who die from a ghoul are worthless pieces of trash that are better off dead, otherwise I would kill him for losing against a ghoul. But me, in this world winning is everything. Winners will always be strong and losers will always be weak. I've never lost a fight in my entire life, and I never will lose. Because I always win, I'm always stronger, I'm always ruthless. This is what it means to become strong. I will show no mercy to those who oppose me, even my own flesh and blood, Akashi said as he still smiles, causing Amon to take a step back, getting a chill from Akashi while he pulls the blade away from Amon's neck as it returns to his sleeve. Let's leave now, Akashi said to Makoto as he begins walking away while Amon grits his teeth. So the rumors were true when he was given that second title, CCG's Red Devil. I hate those two, Amon thought angrily. Back at Anteku, Naruto is currently thinking if where to set up the location as he heard a knocking at the door, which it opens to show Yoshimura entering. If you're gonna try and stop me, it's useless. We're going to be getting ready to leave to prepare for the fight, Naruto told Yoshimura, who sighs. I know that, but I must tell you one thing about your Kagun, Yoshimura said, gaining his attention. What could you possibly say that I already know about my Kagun? Naruto asked him as Yoshimura opens his eyes. They were never meant to hurt or kill, they were meant to protect those who are precious to you like a guardian angel, Yoshimura said as he turns away from Naruto, who has completely wide eyes as Yoshimura leaves the room as Naruto looks down. How can I protect my friends when the ghouls and humans in this world hurt each other, causing hatred and anger to be born, making this world hell? Naruto asked himself. Hinami, Naruto thought as he's staring at a new outfit looking like a white version of Obito's war outfit that's in a large case, which he closed it and stood up as he left the closet and closed the door while he grunts in lane as his back is still hurting, but suddenly the door slams open, gaining his attention as Tuka enters. Naruto, Tuka yelled, causing him to look at her. What? Naruto asked her, confused at why she barged in his room without knocking. Hinami's left the house alone, was all Tuka said, causing his eyes to widen as he immediately opens his window and shuts it as he jumps off the balcony as his wings extend, which he floats down slowly, which he lands on the ground and his wings recede as he breaks out into a full sprint, not even wasting time while he was running. Unknown to him, Ito was running across the buildings after him. Hinami, where are you? Naruto screamed loudly as he runs faster as he enters a dark alleyway, but he stops immediately as his eyes widen and he sniffs the air. Naruto then turns immediately to find Ito behind him. You again? Naruto said, shocked as she takes a step close and they're looking straight at each other as Naruto's eyes narrow as he sees her give him a smile under her bandages, which caused his eyes to widen as she suddenly grabs the bandages on her mouth and leans forward as she moves the bandages on her lips, showing them as they connected with Naruto's lips, which all he did was his eyes widening even more from her kissing him. Ito soon separated from him as she licks her lips and moved her bandages back in place as she gives a laugh while she turned her back to him. Hinami's at Shigahara Elementary School, Waterway. Better hurry. Hey, was all Ito said to him as she begins running away from him, causing his eyes to narrow dangerously at her, but he just looks away and begins running full speed towards Hinami's position. Shigehara Elementary School, Waterway. Naruto arrives seeing the waterway and his eyes widen as he looks up, seeing rain clouds. I better hurry, Naruto thought, but before he could enter. Ah, Hinami. Naruto yelled as he runs fast entering the waterway to find Hinami crying as she's holding a bag, which Naruto soon slows down to a stop as he's looking at her sadly seeing the bag. Naruto said nothing as he looks down at Hinami sadly while behind him he heard footsteps and turns seeing Tuka, who slows down at his side and sees Hinami sitting on the ground holding a bag. "It's Mom," Hinami said, causing her eyes to widen hearing that. "Let's go, Hinami. It's too dangerous here," Tuka told her, but all she said was, "No." "Is it wrong for ghouls to live?" Hinami asked as Naruto felt a pang in his chest at that one sentence. "I want to go be with Mom. Take me there. Take me where Mom is," Hinami told them as she puts her head into the bag concealing her face. "I'm begging you," Hinami said as Tuka bends down and hugs her closely as Naruto just watched this as a stray tear falls from her right eye. "Hinami," was all Tuka said as Hinami hugs her back while crying. "I miss Mom," Hinami said, but Naruto's eyes widen immediately as he heard footsteps and turns fast seeing Koreo standing at the doorway, which his eyes narrow all the way as Toka's shocked seeing him as he's smiling. "Has your wounds healed yet, Angel? Trying to lure us out here with false stories is a ploy so cheap as to he pitiful. Childish, childish, hey. I'm sure you miss your dear mother," Koreo said, angering Tuka, which her eyes turn into the Kakugan. "Why, you," Tuka yelled as Koreo smirks, taking out a few grenades from his pockets, causing Naruto's eyes to widen all the way seeing that while Tuka charged at him while Koreo throws the grenades. "Tuka, no," Naruto yelled as he grabs her by the back of her shirt and throws her back as he jumps to the side, but the grenades explode causing his eyes to widen as he's consumed by a dark green smoke cloud. Hey, like the gift I have you, son?" Koreo asked as Naruto walks out of the smoke cloud with wide eyes as his Kagun won't activate and his body is a little numb, which from his briefcase comes out a tentacle-like Kagun causing Hinami's eyes to widen as Naruto grits his teeth. "Naruto, move," Tuka yelled as she heads for Naruto, who does, but he couldn't move fast enough as the Kagun rips through his chest causing him to vomit out blood as it rips out of Naruto and wraps around him as he begins swinging him into the walks hard, which Tuka charges at him as she throws a kick, but it was blocked by the Kagun causing her to jump back against a wall and fires crystals at Koreo, who blocks the second strike with the Kagun. As this was happening, Naruto was gritting his teeth at what was happening, unable to activate his Kagun and his Kakugan. "You really aren't like the other small fry around, huh?" Koreo asked as he sent Naruto at Tuka, who dodges, but as she dodged his attacks Naruto is slammed into the wall multiple times causing him to give a pained sound as he grits his teeth. "Enough. I am your enemy, not them. You didn't have to kill Hinami's mom and dad. Fight me. I am the SSS class here," Naruto yelled, but he just smirks at him causing him to grit his teeth as he presses the button on his second suitcase while the Kagun around Naruto lets go as it throws him into a wall hard causing him to land in the water as his blood was coming out of his head. The suitcase opens up causing Tuka eyes to widen along with Hinami's as they saw 4 petals appear. "It's your beloved," Koreo said as Hinami's eyes widen more in horror as her hands move up touching her head as her mouth is opened. "Mother," Koreo said, gaining a scream from Hinami as Koreo was smiling widely. "Quinks are made from your Kaguns, after all," Koreo yelled as his eyes widen and turns to see his Kagun from Hinami's father destroyed as it was ripped in half by Naruto's wings, which he saw Naruto with his head bleeding and his Kagun activated, which he falls to his knees tired and weak while the wound on his back and chest hurt badly causing Koreo to reveal a katana quink from his coat as he walks towards Naruto while he smiles. "Don't you dare touch him," Tuka screamed as she charges straight at him and spins while the petals protect him as she lands on the ground, which she jumps back dodging the petals and continues to do so as Naruto is watching. "Tokyo Ghoul Ost Utaka Yamada. This world," Naruto thought as he watches. Hinami also had the lives of those feared to her taken, didn't she? Naruto's eyes widen hearing Kanaki's thoughts as he saw Tuka hit the ground as he wing recedes, which she tries to get up, but the flower petals grab her as it slams her against the wall, slowly crushing her, causing her to make sounds of pain. "Ghouls have feelings, too. No different than humans do. Why don't humans turn their attention toward that? Because humans are pitiful creatures who could never understand us. They would kill anyone who they deem a ghoul, even their own friends, comrades, and family," Naruto thought, and unknown to him Kaneki heard him as Naruto continues watching this. Even so, why don't they try to understand? It's something so obvious. It's something so simple. As Naruto was listening, he continues eating Tuka, getting hurt, unable to get up. Kaneki understands. There are very few able to see what is truly wrong with the world, was the voice inside Naruto's head. I'm not done yet. Kureo yelled as Tuka is screaming in pain, which she fires crystals at Kureo, which the blade creates a blood-red shield, and he throws her against the wall while a petal impales into her stomach, causing her to vomit out blood. We three are the only ones who are aware of it. Zane even knows it, meaning ghouls aren't the only ones who notice. All three of us are the only ones in this entire world who can see what's truly happening. It's not this world that's hell. It's the people in it. The ghouls who went down the wrong path and the investigators. Humans and ghouls, we can learn from each other. Ghouls aren't the only ones screwing up this world. It's also the investigators. Naruto said. Both he and Kaneki were saying the exact same words, which Kureo glances at Naruto, seeing him trying to get up but can't as Naruto holds his stomach while Tuka yells again in pain. You should make for some fine material. However, that couple put together is wonderfully easy to use, but now I need a new quink. Through it was a blast putting your mother down with your father, Kureo says, causing Hinami to hold her ears. Stop that, Tuka says to him weakly. I'll kill you just like I killed my wife. It'll bring back good memories, Kureo said, which Naruto's eyes widen hearing that. Would you say the same thing if you were a ghoul? What's wrong with wanting to be alive? If people are all we can eat, what choice do we have? How are we supposed to live right with our bodies the way they are? Tuka yelled as she began hitting the petal that impaled her. How? I asked. Die, 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 die. You can all die. I just want to live, the same as you, Tuka said, which her eyes are back to normal. I can't bear to hear any more. This will finish you, Kureo yelled. He pulls the katana back while lifting her in the air. No, Hinami yelled as Tuka is headed straight for the blade, which Naruto's right eye turns into the Kakugan, which more blood enters the water, causing Kureo's eyes to widen all the way as he's not moving while the 4 petals hits the ground. Ost end. My quink is gone. No, what's gone is my left arm, Kureo said, looking to see it's no longer there, which Hinami is shocked, causing Kureo to turn slowly, seeing Tuka behind held bridal style. When an angel falls, he loses the angel-like wings. Falling towards hell, becoming a messenger of hell, Naruto spoke as Kureo's eyes widened, seeing 6 black wings with eyeballs appearing in the wings, resembling the Sharingan with 3 tomos. Naruto is currently wearing the same mask as the voice inside his head. I see. No wonder why you were rated SSS class. That's not even a completed Kakuja state, Kureo said with wide eyes as all 6 wings extended, unleashing hundreds of crystals at Kureo, who immediately uses the sword, creating a shield blocking the crystals, but he's being pushed back by the raw force. I see you, Naruto said as he was behind Kureo. In the blink of an eye, causing him to turn as one of the wings turns into a hand, as the back of the hand is the eye, which it grabs Kureo by his waist as it proceeds to slam him into the ground over and over again as it drops Kureo onto the ground, as he doesn't even have time to scream as he's staring up at Naruto, who's looking down at him as all 6 wings point down as all 6 impaled Kureo, gaining a yell of pain, which Naruto bends down, grabbing him by his neck and lifts him in the air. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 Full Burst Ostatachi's goodbye. Now tell me, why did you kill mom and not me? Tell me, Naruto yelled as Kureo looks at Naruto, no longer smiling as blood is coming from his mouth, but what he does is gives him a smile, causing Naruto his eye to widen all the way as he removes his right glove, showing a wing as Naruto was unable to even speak. Congratulations. You've beaten me. You've made me proud, as well as Kushina. That quink is yours now, Kureo said to Naruto, who was unable to speak as he drops Kureo immediately, which he stands up slowly as he begins limping towards Naruto, who begins taking steps back. I regret it. I'm sorry for pushing you away all those years ago, how I caused you and your friends great pain. I needed you to get stronger through. I now see it. Maybe you could have changed me, Arashi, the ghoul investigators. If I had told you the truth from the very beginning. If I had told you the truth as equals. I failed as a father and I have no right to keep saying sorry and to be forgiven, Karasude as Naruto's against the wall while Kureo's right hand moves up towards Naruto's forehead as his mask shattered, showing he's shocked beyond belief. But now, I can finally admit one thing that I've always thought, Kureo said as his right hand moves around Naruto's head. It's alright if you never forgive me for all I've done. But, Kureo said as his hand is touching the back of Naruto's head and he pushes his head forwards as their foreheads connect. No matter what you do or become, nothing will change the fact that you will always be my beloved son, Kureo said as he vomits out blood which hits the ground. Sorry Naruto, but this is it, Kureo said as he smiles at Naruto and he falls forwards into his arms as he's staring at Kureo with wide eyes at his words while Hinami and Tuka were also shocked at hearing his words as Naruto is holding Kureo who's now dead in his arms smiling with closed eyes while Naruto's eyes are completely wide as a seventh wings appears as he holds Kureo closely to him as he grits his teeth. Ost end. Rag. Naruto screams with rage and sadness as tears are falling from just his left eyes as his wings recede as he's holding Kureo which he grits his teeth in anger as he opens mouth and chomps down on Kureo's neck causing their eyes to widen as they're watching in horror as Naruto behind devouring Kureo's insides as he rips his its are on the ground as he continues devouring him while he rips the heart out as he devours it. The wild time steam was coming from his wounds as they were healing slowly. After about a couple of minutes Naruto stood up holding Kureo's ring as he stares down at Kureo while his jaw's skin is covered in blood while his right eye is Hikakugen while his left is crying. Naruto, someone said as they turned seeing a shocked Kaneki as well as Yomo who was shocked. Tokyo Ghoul Ruta Ost darkness falls another day. Did you? Kaneki said as Naruto turns to them and begins walking as he passed them which Tuka grabs his right arm but he pulls it away as he then picks up the katana as he continues walking. Leave me alone, I need time to think, Naruto told her as he begins walking as the others watch him go deeper inside the waterway disappearing in the darkness which they soon follow as Yomo begins carrying Hinami. As they were walking Naruto was ahead of them looking down. Happy birthday Naruto. Your dad made this cake with everything he had since he wanted to prove to your mom he could cook. As Naruto was walking outside of the waterway in the rain heading back to Anteku as both of his eyes are back to normal but shedding streams of tears. As Naruto is walking he stops and looks seeing Ito standing by a tree which he looks away and continues walking while the rain soon stops. A week later in Naruto's room. 1000. Naruto yelled as he was doing pull-ups as he lets go. Naruto is currently wearing black pants but no shirt showing he's sweating while his right eye is the Kakugen. I can't sit back anymore. My friends are getting hurt right in front of me, Naruto thought to himself as he closed his eyes. Flashback a few days ago. Naruto was in Toka's room watching a sad Hinami at the window by herself while next to Naruto was Tuka as the two were looking at her sadly. They soon heard something fall and see a bird out the window hurt causing Hinami to stand up and walk towards the window as she opens the window then walks out as she bends down as she picks the hurt bird up as she stares at it and it suddenly started moving surprising her as she smiles then begins crying causing Naruto to smile sadly seeing this. Flashback end. Naruto opens his eyes as he sighs as he looks at his mirror and blinks in surprise seeing his left eye dark blue. You're changing. You're becoming stronger but you have yet to awaken, the voice in Naruto's head said which he looks at the mirror seeing the dark figure. What do you mean? Naruto asked the figure who said nothing. You'll understand eventually, you've only found one reason which means you only began to scratch the surface of what you can become, the voice said causing Naruto's eyes to narrow as he then puts a shirt on and the figure is gone. How can I end the never-ending war between us? Naruto said to himself as his hands turn into fists. 1 hour later on Anteku. Naruto was currently behind the counter pouring a glass of coffee which he heard flapping as he looks seeing the crocodile land on his right shoulder. Heter, Naruto says as the parrot repeats a certain sentence. Pervert, womanizer, scum, blonde bastard, Heter said causing Naruto to stare at the bird in shock. What did I do to you? Naruto yelled at the bird which the bird starts flapping his wings as he looks at Tuka who just sighs. Heter, bitch, Heter yelled as a tick mask appears in Toka's head. What was that? Tuka yelled in anger as the bird stays silent. Quote. Slut, Heter said as it soon flies out the door, which was opened by a certain woman who immediately stepped to the side as Heter flies out along with a very pissed Tuka. Sigh. Now I'm the only one here. Well, I did say I would take everybody's shifts today, Naruto told himself as he has a look of sadness thinking about him killing then devouring his own father. Naruto's eyes soon widen all the way seeing the same woman who bumped into him sitting at a table close to the window, but her hair is no longer brush but midi green. The woman looks at Naruto and smiles, causing him to sigh, and he walks over to her. What will you be having, miss? Naruto asked her politely as Age just smiles. You can call me Senator Sen Takarsuki, Sen said, causing his eyes to widen all the way. You mean the novelist? My best friend Kaneki Ken is a fan of yours along with Hinami. I have to say that I also enjoy your books, especially Dear Kafka, Naruto said, causing her eyes to widen as she smiles at Naruto. Why don't you take a seat so we can talk? Sen said, which Naruto blinks in surprise and looks around seeing no one else is in the coffee shop, which Naruto shrugs and sits down in front of her, which she just smiles. So what brings you here? Naruto asked her as she looks up and then gives a laugh as she smiles at Naruto, confusing him. Actually, I wanted to see you, Sen said as she placed a hand on Naruto's, causing his heart to skip a beat as a blush forms on his face while he stares into her green eyes, which Naruto soon blinks in surprise. I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend. Naruto was cut off by Sen giving a laugh as she lets go. Who said anything about cheating on your girlfriend? We're just talking after all, Sen told Naruto, which he swallows and sits back down. So, from the look on your face, something bad happened. Did someone you know pass away? Sen asked, causing Naruto to look away as he pulls his hand back. My dad, Naruto said as he was about to leave, but Sen begins speaking. I lost my mother, Sen said, causing Naruto's eyes to widen as she looks out the window. Losing people is hard, especially family, Sen said to Naruto, who looks down not saying anything, but Sen just smiles at him as she stood up, surprising him. Thank you for the talk, Naruto, Sen said, which his eyes widen as he stood up. Wait, how do you know my name? I never told you, Naruto said, which she just smiles at him. Oh, hey, I saw you and Tuka talking to each other a lot. You guys said your names, Sen told Naruto, who blinks in surprise hearing that, which Sen walks towards Naruto as she's in front of him smiling. Here, Sen said, handing Naruto an blank book, surprising him. What's that? Naruto asked her, which she just smiles. My first novel, but it was never published, Sen told Naruto, who takes the book and looks at it, which he felt Sen's right hand touch his left cheek, causing him to look up, seeing Sen smiling at him as she leans forward, causing his eyes to widen as her lips meet his. Why, wait a second. Naruto's eyes immediately widens, recognizing the feeling, but at that time the door opens up as Naruto's eyes widen as he looks to see a completely shocked Tuka, which Sen separates from Naruto as she looks and smiles, seeing a shocked Tuka, which Sen walks towards the door as she leans towards Toka's left ear. He's a good kisser, Sen said as she licks her lips, causing Toka's eyes to narrow all the way in anger as Sen walks down the steps passing her, which Tuka grits her teeth and turns to see Sen was gone, which she immediately enters, then slams the door shut as she glares at Naruto. Were you cheating on me? Tuka yelled, causing Naruto's eyes to widen. Tuka, I can slam. Naruto was cut off by Tuka punching him in the face, sending him into the table as he touched his face with wide eyes, while Tuka then leaves and runs to the door, opening it and slams it as she ran up the steps, which Naruto just looks down as he looks at the book and opens it. Tales of a Gusty Ghoul. Naruto read and flips the pages to the back, seeing who wrote it, had his eyes widen seeing a picture of a young Kureo Mato smiling. She lied. My father wrote this, Naruto said, completely shocked as he began reading from the first page. Outside Toka's room, almost sunset. Tuka, can't we talk? Naruto asked but got no reply. Tuka, if you aren't gonna say anything them all. Naruto was cut off by Toka's voice from inside. No, I don't even want to see your face, you asshole, Tuka yelled, which Naruto looks down sadly as he sighs, knowing he can't do anything since she's still pissed at him, and he grips the book. Tuka, I am sorry for what you saw, but even so I love you and I would never do anything that would make you cry. I would never forgive myself if I would ever hurt you, but even so, Naruto said to her as he sits against the door. Quote. I'm so sorry for hurting you, Naruto told her as he heard footsteps and the door move a little as Tuka is sitting against the door. I love you, with all my heart, and that will never change. I'm sorry again for letting you get hurt, Naruto told her as he looks up at the ceiling. The leaders of the CCG and Aogiri tree. It's their fault this fight continue. We could all live in peace if they just ended this, so you could live your life the way you want to live it, Naruto said to her, which he heard movement, and the door opens as he looks to see Tuka now sitting next to him, laying her head on her shoulder. It's my fault. I should have stopped her. Naruto was cut off as she flicks his forehead and blinks, seeing her look at him annoyed. Will you stop saying sorry? It's starting to annoy me, Tuka said, which Naruto just blinks in surprise hearing that and smiles. Oh so? Naruto stops, seeing Tuka glaring at him, causing him to start sweating. Never mind, Naruto said, which she just sighs. You're such an idiot, Tuka said, and both heard flapping as Heter lands on Naruto's head, gaining their attention. Heter, cheater, Heter said as Naruto sighs while looking down. But even so, for what you've done. Now ramen for 1 month, Tuka said, causing Naruto to turn snow white. Damn it, Hetare, Naruto yelled loudly as the bird flies away from Naruto, with him chasing after the bird, which Tuka has a smile on his face but stops as she looks down, remembering the state Naruto was in. If that was his half Kakuja, then what would his full form look like? Tuka thought to herself, remembering how powerful he was, and looks down. Dad, you always liked him. One of these days I'll see you again, Tuka thought to herself, while Naruto stops at the bottom of the stairs as he's just staring at the door, as he then closed his eyes and grips the book. The way things are progressing. I need to know. I must know why the one-eyed king turned out differently from me. If I just knew, then maybe I can decide the best way to end the war between both our sides, Naruto thought to himself as he looks up the stairs. The message you gave me, Dad. You couldn't find any reasons on how to end the war, Naruto thought as he looks down. All this hate in this world will soon tear everyone apart. Dad, your book was meant to tell me you always believed that I could find a way which we could all understand each other and stop fighting, Naruto thought to himself as he opens the door, and his eyes widen to find 4 guys in their shop, and one of them is pissed off. I said, is your manager here? Before the guy could continue, Naruto grabs his by the back of his hoodie and pulls, causing his eyes to widen as he lets go while hitting the ground, and noticed an annoyed Naruto. If you want this to continue, go right ahead, Naruto warned him, which he grits his teeth but stops, noticing the look in his eyes. The manager isn't here. Tell me and I'll tell him, Naruto told him as he got up slowly. I'm Banjo Kazuichi. Zane here from the 11th ward. That's where I knew Rise Kamishiro, and I'm looking for her, Banjo told him as Naruto sighs while Banjo smells the air as he then grabs Kaneki. Why do I smell Rise's scent on you? Banjo yelled with anger. Try and hurt him, then it won't be pretty, Naruto wanted Banjo. Banjo, one of the 3 say to him as his eyes twitch and close. Are you the guy? Banjo asked as Naruto has a blank look on his face while Kaneki was confused. Huh, was all Kaneki said, not understanding, which Banjo continues. Are you Rise's man? Banjo asked them, which immediately Kaneki waves his hands. No, she and I didn't, Kaneki said, not wanting this odd conversation to continue, angering Banjo more. You and her did it. Banjo was stopped as his face was grabbed by Naruto's right hand, causing all of their eyes to widen as Naruto would not let go as his right eye turns into the Kakugan, scaring all of them now, knowing who he is. The one-eyed angel, Banjo said, shocked as Naruto just stares at him annoyed. Now, from the beginning, what is it that you want? Naruto said with annoyance. 10 minutes later. That's it, huh? Naruto said while Tuka was already in the room wearing her working clothes. She was listening when she arrived. They'll come after the 20th ward, too, in time. Nobody's gonna blame you. You should get running, too. Otherwise. Banjo was stopped from the window behind him, shattering from a foot, which their eyes widen, seeing Ayato. Banjo turns to receive a foot in his side, causing him to slam into both Ichimi and Jiro, while Sante is shocked as he wasn't slammed into by Banjo. Mr. Banjo, Kaneki said worriedly seeing this. What are you screwing around here for, Banjo? You want another beating until you can't spit up any more blood. Huh? Ayato threatened as Banjo holds his left arm with his right hand while sweating. Ayato, Banjo said not knowing he would arrive, which Tuka walks past them as she stands in front of Ayato. Hey, Banjo said not realizing who she is to him. Tuka, Kaneki said shocked as the two stare at each other. Ayato, Tuka said to him as he just smiles. Hello again, my stupid sister, Ayato said, but before she could continue Naruto stepped between them, which both his and Ayato's eyes narrow, but before things could progress the door opens gaining their attention and his eyes widen. Is that long enough, Ayato? Can we come in now? A man asked. He has a blonde-haired brute with sharp lizard eyes and is around 6 foot and is a heavy ghoul. He's wearing an entirely white suit and black dress shirt. Behind him was another man who has a low-cut brown hair, a stubble beard and violet eyes. He's wearing colorful sunglasses fastened on his forehead and pink lipstick. He also wears a long-sleeve, pink V-neck blouse decorated with frills, along with a blue scarf, orange belt, red pants embroidered with roses and heeled boots. Naruto's eyes narrow seeing Yamori, Jason of the 13th Ward. Yamori, was all Naruto said with narrowed eyes as his right eye turns into the Kakugan while the two enter as Nico turns the sign to close and close the door. Why are those two here? Too, Banjo asked not understanding why they're here. Forgive the intrusion, Nico told them with a smile, annoying Naruto thinking he's disgusting. Hey, Ayato, Yamori said with a smile as Nico begins talking. Oh, my, I'd heard that your older sister was here and dating the one-eyed angel. Aren't you two just gorgeous? I'm so jealous, Nico said putting a finger in his mouth creeping out the two. I'm impressed that you found me, Yamori, Ayato said to him. I was following Banjo. The men you have under you are first rate, huh, Yamori told him as he looks around. Miss Rise isn't here, Banjo said, but a stool hits his face silencing him while Yamori's foot is extended as he begins walking towards them but stops as he sniffs the air and smiles. It stinks in here, Yamori said as he cracks his finger and looks at Kaneki. It reeks of an odor I despise, Yamori said as he leans towards Kaneki scaring him. Hey, Nico, will this one do? Yamori asked Nico while smiling. Sure, why not? Let's hurry up and kidnap them, Nico told him. Yeah, right, Yamori said and blocks a strike from Tuka who moves back. Kidnap? What kind of ego trip are you on? Tuka demanded him. Ego trip? Yamori said as he leans towards Tuka and backhands her, causing her to fly into the wall, which he turns fast to grabs Kaneki by his neck and lifts him high in the air. Going on. Yamori stops as he lets go of Kaneki after dodging crystals from Naruto, which he sees both him and Ayato activate their Kagun, which he grits his teeth. Even you shouldn't fight here, Naruto. People see us, then it's all over for you guys, Yamori said, which he grits his teeth as Kaneki looks at Naruto. Naruto, don't fight, we can't let anyone outside see this, Kaneki said, causing Naruto's eyes to widen as he grits his teeth while his wings recede and he deactivates his Kakugan, which Yamori walks towards a table head, slams Kaneki into it, causing him to cough out blood while veins appear on Naruto's forehead as his anger increases, while Yamori soon slams his right foot into Kaneki's stomach, which his eye patch falls off. Kaneki, Tuka yelled while Naruto was unable to attack or they would draw the attention of the people outside. Get up or stay down. Which will it be? If you behave yourself, you'll get through this without getting hurt. But right now, Yamori said as he adds more pressure, causing Kaneki to scream, which he soon starts to push Yamori off as his left Kakugan activates, shocking Ayato, Yamori, and surprising Nico. Oh, one eye, huh, Nico was stopped as Naruto's right fist sends him slamming into the floor as he drops Kaneki, who hits the ground hard as Naruto goes to his side and helps him up, worried. Kaneki, Naruto said, but Yamori's Kagun rips through his back, coming out of his chest, causing him to cough out blood as his eyes narrow as Yamori pulls it out, which it begins healing. Enough of this, you two are coming with us, Yamori said to them. Why, you, Tuka yelled as she charges for Yamori, who looks at her smiling, but Ayato immediately gets in front of him as he punches her in the face, sending her into a table. You're weak, Chuka, a carbon copy of Pop, Arashi said as Toka's Kakugab activates. Dad, fought for our sake. What do you even know? Chuka yelled but was stopped as she was karate chopped in the back of the neck, shocking all of them, seeing Naruto was the one who did it as he lays her against the wall. Sorry about that, even you could have blocked that, but you were too blind to see it coming. I can't let you continue fighting, Naruto told her sadly and stood up with narrowed eyes. Chuka, Naruto. Kaneki was stopped by Yamori picking him up by his head. This one still has some slunk left, huh? Sniff, that's really does remind me of her. I can't do anything else for now, so I'll just wait later, Yamori said as he immediately slams Kaneki's face into the wall, causing cracks to appear. Now he won't bother us, Yamori said while Naruto was glaring at him with anger. I am gonna kill this bastard, Naruto thought with anger but controls it. Banjo, stuff the one-eyes guy in the bag. We're going back soon, Ayato said, which they look at Naruto. I'm coming too. I need to protect Kaneki, Naruto said but felt someone grab his leg and turned, seeing Tuka who's holding into his leg, which he doesn't look at her. Naruto, don't go, Chuka said as Naruto looks down. In this world, those who are born as ghouls are regarded as scum, but those who would abandon even one of their friends are worse than scum, Naruto said, causing her eyes to widen as he begins walking. I will not abandon Kaneki, Naruto said as he begins walking past them as Nico smiles. So cool, Nico said with a smile as Naruto was the first to leave. Who will he side with? Once he knows the truth of why he even exits with the man who knows the truth, Ayato thought to himself. To be continued. I hope you enjoyed this story. Also remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.